A rare visit to Dodger Stadium, baseball's third oldest ballpark. Home to legendary baseball moments.
She is gone!
And characters. To icons of baseball's past and its future.
Yeah, for nearly 60 years, they've been making history right here at Dodger Stadium as we get ready for the final game of this quick two-game interleague series. Welcome in again, everybody. Great to be with you tonight. I am Dave Raymond alongside CJ Nikowski. Last night in the opener, well, it was all Dodgers. They pounded some lumps on the Rangers in that one, and now today the Rangers looking to even this series with a win. And the good news is they have their ace, Cole Hamels, going to the mound.
Whenever you have Cole Hamels on the mound, you know you're going to have a chance to win, but especially on the road. Cole has been so good as of late, and he's done it against some very good opponents here in 2018. Take a look at his last three against the Indians, the Astros, and the Angels. Those are all lineups that are solid 1 through 9. Now, the downside of that is that Cole Hamels has only gotten 3 runs of support in those games, and so trying to get wins has been a little bit of a challenge. Now, overall, for Cole Hamels, you think about what he has done in interleague play. That has been an area in which he has been very strong. Look at his last 7 interleague starts, a 4-1 record, great ERA, and the opponent's average stingy at 220. So in a good spot right now, interleague play on the road. Seems like it should be a good one for Cole.
A Southern California kid, so a homecoming of sorts for him. He loves to pitch down in this part of the country as well. Now tonight, he's going to be pitching against a Dodgers offense that suddenly has absolutely come to life. You look at what they have done in the month of June, and there is no hotter offense right now on the planet. We're only 10 games in, but 29 home runs, nearly 8.5 runs per game. You see all the other superlatives. It's a hot offense, and they've got some great bats in their order, guys like, well, Yasiel Puig, to name one.
And Yasiel Puig has been really good as of late. He is a guy that really has been up and down over the course of his career, and such a huge personality here in Los Angeles. But the month of June has been very kind to Yasiel Puig. 417 average of 3 home runs, and that OPS over 1,200. And we saw him swing a very good bat last night against the Rangers. And so for Cole Hamels, that is a bat, and there are a lot of them in this lineup that he is going to have to keep an eye on and be careful against.
All right, well, also a homecoming today for Adrian Beltre as we return to where it all started for the Rangers captain, and we're putting him in the spotlight when we come back. Ah, yes, the beautiful scenes down here in Southern California, right off in the distance. CJ Nikowski's little summer home there in Malibu. He spends a little time convalescing and getting a little break from the grind sometimes. Time for the Shiner Box Spotlight, talking about Southern California guys. Adrian Beltre began his career here.
He certainly has, and think about Adrian Beltre, not only to start with the Dodgers and the great career, but how about what he has done here lately? 5 for his last 7. You see that over his last couple of games, and swinging a good bat, going against the shift early. That was certainly good to see, and we know what Adrian Beltre means to this lineup. He just balances it out so much. He does so many things so well. He's got the power. He can hit for average, and he's done that even over his last 10. The 350 average, couple of home runs, a really nice OPS, that on-base plus slugging at 970 over those last 10. And for a little bit more on Adrian Beltre, let's throw it down to Emily.
Yeah, this is where it all began for Adrian Beltre 20 years ago here at Dodger Stadium, and this is where he recorded his first major league hit, almost 20 years to the day. I asked him this afternoon if he remembered that moment. He said, "Are you kidding me? Of course I remember it." He said, "I was so nervous when I went to the plate, but I made the decision that I was going to swing at the first pitch regardless of what it was." He was going up against Chuck Finley. He said before he knew it, his bat made contact. He had a double to left center, found himself on second base, and he said from there he was just on a cloud. He remembers it like it was yesterday, said the ball is in his parents' hands, and said he might have to negotiate a way to get that baseball back. But quite a 20-year career for Adrian Beltre. Obviously, he plays well here, feeling familiar in where he got started with his big league career. We have got the first pitch and lineups coming up from Dodger Stadium. After this, Dave and CJ will have the call for you coming up next.
Great statue, too. I love that one. Action moment there in Jackie's career as we get ready to go. Second game in this very short series. Kenta Maeda getting set to throw tonight. Let's take a look at our Southwest starting lineup for the Rangers. 27 wins, 42 losses. Shin-Soo Choo will lead things off in left field. Delano DeShields in center. Nomar Mazara in right field make up the top third of the order. Adrian Beltre, another start at third base tonight. Profar in short. Joey Gallo at first base. Then it's Chirinos catching. Rougned Odor at second. And of course the pitchers hitting here National League style. Cole Hamels batting ninth.
And for those Rangers, they'll be going up against Kenta Maeda for the Dodgers, just activated off the disabled list. And here is the pitch arsenal for the Dodgers right-hander. Four-seam fastball 44% of the time, but it's the slider, and that's the pitch to keep an eye on that he uses 28% of the time, just a 150 batting average against that pitch. And the curveball, changeup, and the cutter as well. And behind Kenta Maeda tonight, the defense for the Los Angeles Dodgers in the outfield, Kemp, Hernandez, Puig. Let's take a look around the infield for Los Angeles. There they are, Justin Turner, Chris Taylor, Logan Forsythe, and Cody Bellinger. And then it's Austin Barnes getting the start behind the plate.
Okay, so we are set to go. Another beautiful evening here in Southern California. Choo stands in, 273 average now. The on base at 379. Kenta Maeda's first pitch, this one lifted high in the air to center field. Hanging up there forever, and Kike Hernandez gets to it for out number one.
Center fielder number 3, Delino.
So definitely a quick start to this one. Maeda returning to the mound for the first time since May 29th. That was a game he had to leave early. The start against the Phillies here at Dodger Stadium. And went on the disabled list the next day with a right hip strain. So Maeda back off the DL today. And we'll see how far he can go, how far the Dodgers will push him in this one. As he deals to DeShields off the plate for ball one.
Always a concern when you get a player that comes off the DL, and especially your pitchers, and we know how cautious the Dodgers are and all the concerns they have with the health of their starting rotation. So you're right.
Right off of DeShields' helmet. And he'll head to first.
I mean, that is quite the reaction from Delino DeShields, and I don't know what's on top of his hat. Is that his hair coming through there?
Yeah, it shocked the hair right through.
That is fantastic. Now, I say fantastic. You got hit in the head. You're always concerned about that, but Delino seems to be fine. You see a breaking ball here. It's the curveball. Yep, no hair and
hair.
That's
that is bizarre.
That is pretty crazy that you could throw a curveball and get a guy's hair to stick out of his helmet.
It's Chia Delino.
And obviously Delino is fine, and so we can giggle about that a little bit. But a curveball that gets away from Maeda leads to the first base runner for the Rangers.
But Delino always a threat to do a little base running. We'll see if he decides to be aggressive early on here. Rangers yesterday lost the opener 12-5. Well, it's not like they really struggled mightily on the offensive side yesterday. And the problem was they just could not stop the Dodgers from scoring. Well, here's Nomar Mazara. He missed the game yesterday. Was in the lineup, but was a late scratch with flu-like symptoms. 265 hitter. And of course, a big difference maker when you have him in the heart of the order. One of a handful, let's see, 5 left-handed hitters, along with the switch hitter, Jurickson Profar, in the lineup today against Maeda. Delino bluffs. And that's a strike, and the count 0-2.
And part of that will be for Kenta Maeda. Guy who's quick to the plate, has only allowed 1 stolen base so far this season. And the flip side of that with Austin Barnes behind the plate. Opposing base stealers 9 for 10 against him.
Shift on against Mazara, and he'll take a breaking ball low.
You can see right there, he's very quick to the plate. Very difficult to steal off of.
Well, 4 wins, 4 losses, a 3.61 ERA. There's that shift. And a little bit different in that the third baseman, Logan Forsythe, moves way over to the right side. This one rolled to short, where the actual shortstop Taylor flips the second run, and the relay over to first in time for the double play. That's a 6-4-3 twin killing. Inning is done. And now it's up to Cole Hamels. He'll go to work at the bottom of the first. Here in the LA Basin. And let's take a look at this Dodgers starting lineup. 34 and 32. Chris Taylor leading it off at short. Justin Turner at second base. Matt Kemp in left field. Then to the heart of things, Kike Hernandez at cleanup in center field. Cody Bellinger, Yasiel Puig, and then to the bottom of the order is Forsythe, Austin Barnes, and the pitcher Kenta Maeda. First pitch to Taylor, and Hamels with a fastball in there. Strike one. Hamels 3 wins, 6 losses, and a 3.86 ERA. This is his 14th start of the year. Dealing to a dangerous leadoff man in Taylor. You see what he did last night. A couple of hits, including a double. But he will strike sometimes for a long ball in the leadoff spot. This one a sinking liner to center, and he's retired for out number 1.
A good first out for Cole Hamels. Let's take a look at the pitch arsenal and what he has featured so far this season. 27% cutters, 21% changeups, and it's not until you get to the four-seam fastball at 20% you start seeing the heaters, the two-seamer, the sinker at 17%, and the curveball. And so you get a really good feel for what Cole Hamels has done this year, which is mixing up his pitches a lot, using those off-speed pitches more with that heavy cutter and changeup usage. It's been important to Cole Hamels, but the off-speed stuff has been fantastic for him. That curveball batting average against this year, 103. He's not allowed a home run on that pitch.
Well, he goes off speed to Justin Turner for a strike. Turner also 2 hits in yesterday's game. Dodgers wrapped out 16 hits on the way to the 12-5 win. This ball belted high in the air, out to left field. Chu goes back, looks up, and that's gone. Justin Turner, just his second home run of the year. But it puts the Dodgers on the board first tonight, 1-0.
Well, certainly the Dodgers have missed having Justin Turner in their lineup the times that he has been out, and the long ball has been an issue for Cole Hamels. And I just mentioned the off-speed pitches and how good they have been. Well, this is a changeup that didn't quite turn over as much as Cole wanted it to. You're going to see it kind of stay straight. Now it's away, and it's even off the plate a little bit, but I think for Justin Turner doing his homework and seeing what Cole Hamels has been about in 2018, could have been looking for that changeup in that 0-1 count.
Now Kemp. Matt Kemp, 333 average this year, but he has always hit Hamels well. And takes one outside, 1-1.
So that home run against Cole Hamels, that's number 18 that he has allowed on the season. That ties him for second most in the game with Josh Tomlin. First on that list, Bartolo Colon, who was allowed 19 home runs. So in this rotation, the long ball has been somewhat of an issue.
And Bartolo was stung last night for 2 home runs. Pardon me. Yeah. 3 home runs, which elevated his already high level.
He took over the lead yesterday after giving up those 3. We know that, though, with Bartolo. It's kind of been his story. He's been locked in, as you see, good fastball there from Cole Hamels. How about a look at the Rangers defense this evening, which is delivered to you by Methodist Health System. Chu, DeShields, and Mazzara in the outfield tonight against the Dodgers, and it's Beltre, Jurickson Profar, Rougned Odor, Joey Gallo back at first base, and Robinson Chirinos doing the catching.
Well, 2 away. First strikeout of the night for Hamels, and now he goes after Kike Hernandez, lines it down to third, and Beltre is right there to steal an extra base hit. So Hernandez lines out, the inning is done, but the Dodgers get the scoring started tonight. It's 1-0. 21st place alone on the all-time hit list. 3,089 coming into play tonight. How many pitches till he gets it? Because he's getting it in this at bat. Right?
Oh, well, if it's going to be this at bat, then I'll say 3.
Okay, there's 1, and it's off the plate.
I was going to say 7, but you really kind of put me in a corner when you said it was going to be this at bat. Just want to get that on the official record.
Right.
Just in case it is pitch number 7.
Okay. 1-0. And a strike in there. So here it comes.
Brace yourself.
Buckle up. Well, he had a couple more yesterday. Beltre at times really does make it look easy. A 1-1 pitch. And he comes up empty there, 1-2.
Well, part of it, I think, with Adrian that is so amazing, and there are a lot of things to be in awe of. But when he misses time, not going on a rehab assignment, or even now with some of the, playing time slowing down, some DHing, he just doesn't seem to ever miss a beat.
Ground ball left side. Turner backs up on it and throws Beltre out. Start the second inning.
Shortstop number 19, Jurickson, Profar.
So interesting to see Maeda this season, and his strikeout rate has really jumped. 11.7 per 9. That's a career best. But look how he's done it. Mentioned the slider. 26 of his strikeouts have come on that slider. You saw Adrian Beltre swinging and missing on the third pitch of his at bat. On the slider, fastball at 17, then the changeup as well. So it's really about those off-speed pitches. But the slider has been such a good pitch for Kenta Maeda. Just a 150 batting average against that pitch this year.
Now Profar offering it the first pitch he sees and pops it up to deep short. 2 away.
Rangers certainly want to be a little bit careful. Of course, we know that Maeda coming off the DL, and you were talking about whether or not he'd be a guy that would be able to go deep. Well, at this pace, he's gotten 5 outs on just 12 pitches. It's certainly going to work in his favor.
Yeah, and it's interesting because, I don't know, the last 3-4 weeks, I feel like that has been one of the real strengths of this Ranger offense, is they have made starting pitchers labor and have gotten into bullpens. Joey Gallo just below that Mendoza line now at 199 with the average, 17 homers and 38 RBIs. They play Turner in a traditional third baseman spot. This one lifted high in the air. Deep out there to left center. Back near the wall, and Hernandez makes the play. And you see Kenta Maeda, didn't look simple. A towering, deep fly ball out. It's a 1-2-3 second inning.
Mexico and USA have been selected by the FIFA Congress to host the 2026 FIFA World Cup. Thank you.
There you go, big news. And of course, no more of this idea of a single country hosting the World Cup anymore. Let's just go with like a continent. So that's how big it's gotten. That's cool, though. I think that'll be really kind of a neat idea.
No doubt. All the venues, the options that you have between all 3 countries, that's certainly really important. It's a long way away, but it's certainly some exciting news for all of us in North America, all the soccer fans, as we get World Cup fever going. Tomorrow's the big day, right?
I believe so, yeah. We'll get home just in time to turn some of it on TV.
Right as the Rangers are landing. How do they start it off? What's the you don't drop the puck? It's not first pitch. What do you got?
It's no puck drop.
Yeah. Coin flip. How does it work? What do they
inside on Bellinger?
Is there an official phrase to how they?
That's a good question. I don't know. Maybe there is no.
The ball rolls at 8:07 a.m. Is that how they say it? I'm really one-dimensional, as you can tell.
We'll have to look into that. The 3-0 pitch. Bellinger takes a strike. The dangerous slugging first baseman, Cody Bellinger. Could it just be kickoff?
I don't know. It's not a face-off. But they don't have like one team gets the ball to start, right? Or do they actually get a little circle like a tip-off?
I don't know.
I don't know how it starts. I've watched soccer. I can't remember how it starts.
I can't tell you. Fascinating, though, as you think about it. Here comes the 3-2 on the way to Bellinger. And he takes high. That's ball 4. So a walk to start the second inning. Somebody who knows a little more about this. In fact, I would say a lot about this. Our resident World Cup expert, ready to answer our questions. Here is Emily Jones.
And you know this. So World Cup fever has hit the Rangers clubhouse thanks in large part to Cole Hamels, who organized kind of a pool amongst the guys in the clubhouse. They all drew numbers and then from there could draft the team of their choice. There was a buy-in of undisclosed monetary nature that I was not predisposed to, but there was a chance to, if somebody had a team that somebody else wanted for a side negotiation to purchase that team. So everyone's got some skin in this World Cup game in the Rangers clubhouse.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Now we got those 23andMe boxes that had the World Cup bracket, the entire thing all laid out. It was beautiful. And you could see why guys would get excited. The opportunity's great for team chemistry. I'm sure probably $1 each or something to get into
something
the tournament.
Like that, yeah.
And you could sell your team if you wanted to for maybe $1.50. But that is super fun. It's great for team chemistry. Get guys going against each other a little bit, talking a little bit of smack, and then watching those matches when they're on in the clubhouse. Certainly part of it as well. So I love that the guys are doing that. And some jabbing going back and forth. And I bet you we'll see a soccer jersey show up here sooner or later.
Oh, I'm sure. That one a little bit low. 2-1. You know they're not called soccer jerseys, right?
They're not?
It's called a kit.
No, that I did not know.
Yeah.
But you didn't know that it was a kickoff, which it is, the official.
It is a kickoff.
Football kickoff.
Oh,
Football.
Bellinger with 4 stolen bases this year in 4 tries with his lead over at first base. And Puig asked for time. 1-0 Dodgers.
And Cole has allowed 8 stolen bases and 8 successfully so far this season. Over the course of his career, he does have 36 pickoffs. None this season so far. Certainly a good move over the course of his career.
And Puig takes low. So back-to-back walks in the second inning. Not the way Hamels wanted to start it. Now the 2018 FIFA World Cup is coming to Fox and FS1 with every match live and over 300 hours of coverage. The world's biggest sporting event is tomorrow, and it is only on Fox and FS1. Yeah, there's the set right now out in Russia. They're scrambling to get ready. The big day tomorrow where it all launches. A kickoff.
That's right. Who doesn't know that? They're excited. They have sent quite the contingent of announcers and studio personnel and everything else headed over there to Russia. The coverage is going to be fantastic.
It's just like football, by the way. The other football, the American football. Little
Say it, the real
coin toss, and then the team starts with the ball. Bounce with third, and Beltre forces Bellinger out of the baseline, and he is out. Bellinger doesn't believe it, and we're just now willing to accept it. He's out.
We'll get a good look at this to get an idea as far as where Bellinger was. And the baseline is established once the base runner starts to try to avoid attack. So right there, it's established. From that moment, you have 3 feet. You can see clearly that Cody Bellinger went well beyond the 3-foot mark. Now, of course, it is a judgment call, and that's what your umpire's job is to do. But the base runner establishes the baseline once he tries to avoid any kind of tag. And from that moment, he is 3 feet either way, and Bellinger was well past that.
So Austin Barnes now, the catcher, an 8th place hitter. Barnes in with a .216 average. And you can see 52 games, just the 1 homer and the 3 RBIs. And what an interesting, I guess, journey he has had the last 2 years with the Dodgers. 2-0 the count. Last year, Yasmani Grandal, the everyday catcher. Barnes backed him up. Barnes a very versatile guy. They can use him on the infield. They can use him at catcher. But man, Grandal kind of slumped in the second half. Barnes caught fire a little bit, and he became the regular catcher down the stretch for the Dodgers, and then was their postseason guy. I mean, he caught 13 of the 15 postseason games. Runners go, and that one's fouled away. It's 2-1.
That's interesting. That was probably Puig going on his own right there, because we did not see Forsythe go. So either Forsythe missed a sign, possibly. A hit and run with runners at first and second is a little bit risky. We have a couple of runners on. Certainly you can do it. You see Puig there talking it out, figuring it out. He may just have seen something and felt like he could get the bag against Cole Hamels and Robinson Chirinos.
About 2-1 the count on Barnes. Pitch on the way. This time nobody going, and it's 3-1. So Barnes, after that great performance down the stretch, got his team to Game 7 of the World Series and all. They figured he would be the guy going into spring training. Had a bad spring training. Grandal had a good spring training. And Barnes has been relegated once again to that sort of backup swingman role. They use him other places on the diamond, and he's struggled a little bit in these spots here with Puig at second and Forsythe at first. Runners go, and that's a strike, and the throw to third gets away from Beltre. It goes down the left field line. Puig scores. Forsythe goes to third, and it's a full count.
This was pretty interesting. It looked like this ball almost went right through Adrian Beltre's legs. Now he started to go down as if he was going to maybe scoop it, but I think the throw reached him in the air. We'll get a good look at it right here. Look at Chirinos' throw. That throw is right on the money. Adrian Beltre was a little late getting over. Now he was playing far off the back, so I shouldn't say that he was late in the sense that he didn't get there in time, but more in the sense that he was so far away that there just wasn't enough time to get there. That's unfortunate, because that was a pretty good throw by Robinson Chirinos.
That ball megged him, as they say in soccer.
Is that what they say?
No, it goes between your legs. It megged him. You got megged. So Barnes now, the count full, and he takes strike three called. So Hamels battles back to get a big out, second of the inning.
Good job here by Cole Hamels, not allowing the circumstances of what just happened to bother him too much. You see that pitch at 89 miles an hour, looked like a cutter. Yep, good look at it right there. And that side spin, nice job by Robinson Chirinos to hold it in the zone. They were actually trying to throw that ball a little bit more away, but it was a strike nonetheless. By the way, they did give the error to Adrian Beltre on that play, which allowed the run to score.
Maeda, an unconventional swing there, fouls one away.
You were mentioning Barnes in the situation and what the Dodgers thought was going to be happening to start the season. It's kind of interesting. They're a really good organization, well respected in their front office, but two of the expectations they had this year, you just mentioned Grandal, thinking he was going to be the backup and Barnes the starter, and then the whole Matt Kemp situation.
Yeah.
I mean, they pretty much really didn't expect, sounds like, Grandal to be the starter or Matt Kemp to maybe even be on the team. It's funny how things change.
Ooh, strike three called, and Kenta Maeda carved up quickly for the final out of the second inning, but the Dodgers add another one, an unearned run, and they lead 2-0. Tonight we are participating in the Home Run Challenge. Every home run in this game raises money for prostate cancer research. Since June 1st, over $1.35 million has been raised in the challenge. And you can make a pledge by going to homerunchallenge.org. And we would encourage you to do so. Father's Day coming up this weekend. And a perfect time to do it. So here we go, bottom third of the order for the Rangers. Chirinos, Odor, and Cole Hamels. Kenta Maeda still showing a minute left on the clock out there to warm up between innings. How does that happen?
I'm trying to figure that out myself. I don't know if he took a while to get out there, but the clock just starts regardless. Now, he made the last out, and it was called strike three, so maybe that was part of it, where he was taking his time, but it's unusual that the clock would also be okay with him as well. It's one thing to go out there late, and you know what I like about how the game has changed in that regard is they don't count pitches anymore. Here's the clock. Here's how much time you have to get ready, period. You want to take 100 pitches in your 2 minutes if you can do it, knock yourself out. Otherwise, you want to only take 2. It doesn't matter. Something strange happened there with the clock, and either way, Kenta Maeda is now ready.
Yeah, you know, we had a call with Major League Baseball at the beginning of the year, and I do not remember a distinction with American League and National League games, you know, regarding the pitchers, but that might well be it, as Chirinos takes one on the outside corner for a strike. Well, Robbie at 198 for the year, but with 8 home runs and 22 RBIs. Just missed a home run last night. Was 0 for 2 with a walk in yesterday's game, and he takes the ball. It's 1-1.
Hopefully here for the Rangers, they can try to work Maeda a little bit. 14 pitches through the first 2 innings, and he's already thrown a couple here, but trying to get that pitch count up certainly would be helpful.
There's strike 2 on Chirinos. Well, we mentioned Kenta Maeda just off the disabled list for this game today. 30 years old. Celebrated his birthday a couple of months ago. And this is his 3rd year in the big leagues. Check swing evens account now at 2-2. And there were times earlier this year where he was spot on. He had some brilliant starts to begin the year for the hip injury sideline. Another check swing. And it's a full count now on Chirinos.
That was that slider that Maeda tried to use below the zone. He's so great at generating swings and misses with that pitch. Take a look at it right here. Oh, never mind. Call me a liar. Dave Raymond, go ahead.
I won't do it. 3-2 is rolled foul. We'll do it again.
But here's what's interesting about that slider. So he has a 46% whiff rate, right? That's so the slider and a slider. Sliders that he throws, 46% of the ones that are swung on and missed. That is the 4th best among National League starting pitchers. It's that good of a slider. And the other guys in that category, Patrick Corbin, but then Noah Syndergaard and Max Scherzer. As far as generating swings and misses, the Maeda slider is right up there with those big names.
3-2 pitch, and Chirinos lifts this one high in the air out to left field. Kemp, though, with just enough room and right in front of the warning track, puts it away. Hey, don't miss the Best Friends ticket offer. You get 2 Upper Reserve tickets for just $30. Grab your best friend. Come on out to the ballpark on Saturday. Rockies and Rangers, more interleague baseball, a 3:05 game. First 15,000 fans get an Adrian Beltre Best Friends bobblehead, courtesy of Dr. Pepper and Albertsons. Use coupon code BFF at TexasRangers.com/specials. But hurry, this offer will end on Friday. Here is Odor, and he takes a strike right on the outside corner. Ruby hitting .216 now. This is just his 42nd game of the year. Missed time about a month, in fact, on the disabled list. That left hamstring strain.
Good curveball from Maeda. Mentioned the slider and how good it has been so far this season. The curveball, the results really haven't been there. It's been a .313 batting average against, but look at this one. Good speed differential. You see it up in the zone a little bit, but it's not always about the location, but how tight the spin is on that curveball.
One ball, 2 strikes on Rugi.
Change of there. Kind of interesting. You're talking about Maeda, 3rd year in the big leagues. He signed that really unusual contract, 8-year deal for $25 million. That sounds like a contract out of the 80s almost, as far as what the AAV was. That was an opportunity to make a lot more over the course of that deal, but really to kind of watch his progression.
This one out into right field. Base hit for Odor. And he will turn first but hold. Not going to test Puig's arm. And the Rangers have their first hit of the night.
A really smart idea by Rougned Odor. We talked about it last night, how good that arm is of Yasiel Puig. And this breaking ball, this one stayed in on the corner. Another curveball that he went back to. We saw Rugi swing and miss at one earlier in the at-bat, but this one he puts a good swing on. And as far as breaking location, that one actually looked a little bit better, although you always want to be careful going down and in to left-handed hitters.
So second base runner of the night. Shields was on earlier after being hit in the helmet. And now Cole Hamels, he wants to bunt, drops one down right in front of the plate. Barnes throws out to second base, and they get Odor.
And Odor looking back into the dugout right away because the throw was on the first base side, and it almost looked as if the foot did not stay on the bag. And you see right there, Jeff Bannister wants to at least take a look at the replay and see whether or not Taylor was able to keep his foot on the bag. I think he took it off or probably got it back on. Let's take a look at it right here. You see him kind of come off and come back in time. That's why the Rangers will not challenge. One of the things I was going to say, though, kind of mentioning the progression of watching Kenta Maeda over these years. It's only been 3 here in the States, but he stopped really throwing his two-seam fastball. It's 15% his first year, and it's really come down to almost nothing at this point. He's gone to predominantly the 4-seam fastball. That has gone way up. His rookie year here in the States, he threw that pitch 28% of the time, and we showed you at the beginning of the show, beginning of this game, now 44% of the time. So more 4-seamers, less 2-seamers. Kind of interesting to think that with not an overpowering fastball that he'd go the other direction.
That, though, is a trend that we are seeing more and more all around baseball, right? The 4-seamer up and the big curveballs low. Seems to be a combo that the numbers crunchers, the analytics teams are saying is pretty effective. 2-0 pitch. And that is inside on Chu. Chu, our TXU Energy Power player to watch. His last 11 games on the road, hitting .372. Some power as well. He homered last night. OPS over 1,100. And he watches ball 4, and Chu has reached base again tonight. That's 28 straight games. Time for a Chevy game break. Let's check in with John Radigan.
Well, it's always fun, right, when you're already taken out of the game and you're probably going up to the clubhouse after that half inning is over anyway. You just get a little bit of a head start on your post-game routine. A little ice, maybe ride the bike, get a nice early head start.
I wonder what are the implications there? A little fine, maybe?
Probably. I got kicked out of a game one time after I got taken out. And it's really ridiculous. I mean, it's so absurd. You're already done anyway. Who cares at that point?
Why'd you get tossed?
I yelled at first base umpire. I thought he missed a call as I was coming in, and yelling at him as I was going. I got taken out of the game, just being a dummy and screaming and yelling. And he gave me the old heave-ho, and I was like, well, I'm leaving anyway.
Was that your only ejection?
It was my second. I think I had 2.
Maeda checks his runners and runs that one in onto Shields for a strike count 0-2. How much do those cost you?
I got called. One was $500 back then. This was all the way back in 1999. I threw a pitch a little bit too close to Kenny Lofton after warnings had already been issued. And it was totally unintentional. But it was a little bit too close. Got kicked out of the game. $500 fine. This is back when they used to have team or league presidents in each league. Gene Budig was the president of the American League back then. I wrote him a letter with my $500 check and explained why I thought it was unjust.
Checks one roller back to Maeda. He does field the position well.
And he returned the money. He gave me the $500 back. How about that?
Wow. That's cool. 2-0. Southwest Airlines. Low fares, no hidden fees. That's transparency. And by GMC. Visit your local GMC dealer.
Bottom 3, Cole Hamels back out on the mound for the Rangers as Texas trails the Dodgers 2-0. And we welcome you back to Dodger Stadium. And pleased to be joined by a very Olympic gold medalist, Madison Koshin. Also, a very big Rangers fan, isn't that right?
Yes, of course. I couldn't miss the Rangers coming out here. I had to make it to the game.
You are a Dallas native. 2016, you guys, the Final 5 gymnastics team, took the Olympics by storm. What's been going on since you won that gold medal?
Well, I've moved out to LA for right now. I'm going to school at UCLA, and I just finished today my second year. And this year we won the national championship too, our gymnastics team. So it's been quite a whirlwind of the last couple years.
I guess so. And where did this love of baseball and the Rangers in particular come from?
I think ever since I was little. Actually, when my mom went into labor, my dad was at the Rangers game. So I guess it started from then.
And who's been your favorite so far?
So far, definitely Beltre's my favorite.
Adrian Beltre, he's a popular choice. And then finally, you've accomplished all this before the age of 21. You'll turn 21 on Friday. Any big plans?
I'll be home, so I'm excited to see my family and friends again and just have a relaxing day.
Okay, well, if we see you, we'll buy you a beverage.
Oh, thank you.
Madison Koshin, thanks so much for being with us. Guys, we'll send it back up to you.
Oh, that is awesome right there. And Adrian Beltre just made a really nice defensive play for him.
Yeah, perfect timing, just in time for the 21st birthday. Take a look at Adrian Beltre, the Gold Glove winner right there. Hard rock as he looked like he got a little bit of whiplash on that play, but an excellent play. The great hands of Adrian Beltre continues to get it done at 39 years old.
So now Justin Turner, who homered in the first inning. Just his second home run of the year. And Hamels won a pitch. That one's in there for a strike. So Hamels give him an unearned run in the second, the home run to Turner in the first inning. And this one popped up, out of play, strike two. All right, here we go. There are Kubota power stats today. I mentioned this earlier today. Hamels got a back here at home. He's a Southern California boy. And you look at these numbers, an 8-3 record, an ERA of 2.02, and 18 starts in the three stadiums down here. Dodger Stadium, Angel Stadium, and Petco Park in San Diego, where he grew up. But feels very comfortable and relaxed down here and does quite well. Of course, it helps that he's a really, really good pitcher.
That's a good point. I got to believe there's got to be something to the climate that probably makes Cole feel pretty comfortable. Something he's done his entire life as an amateur. Now as a big leaguer has had success.
Evens things up here 2-2 on Turner. 34 years old now. Hamels is, of course, he made his name as a Philadelphia Philly, where in 2008 won a world championship, was named the World Series MVP. This one will line down to first, a little short hopper, in fact. Gallo with a good backhand and races to the bag to beat Turner 2 away.
Nice play by Joey. I want to show you this a little bit, and Cole Hamels and the changes that have kind of happened with his repertoire. Mentioned Maeda earlier, and each pitch, and we're looking here at Cole Hamels, the batting average against the pitches and the home runs. Now the home runs on the changeup just went up to 5 after Turner hit a changeup out, but look at the off-speed pitches and how great the batting averages are against those, and Cole has thrown those pitches a lot more. We highlighted that when we opened up this game, and you can see why. The fastball batting average is creeping up and the home runs as well, but all of the off-speed pitches have just been fantastic this season. That curveball at 103 batting average and no home runs for Cole Hamels. It has been excellent.
Now he goes after Kemp, who he struck out in the first inning. Kemp 0 for 1. And Hamels, of course, has kind of had a resurgence in that strikeout game now, and now we count 1-1. The other story for Cole Hamels has been just the support behind him, and you can see 2.72 runs of support per game. Second lowest in all of Major League Baseball. Only Andrew Kashner, who we saw last year struggle with the same thing, gets less. Pick in the hole by Profar. The throw to first just does bounce away from Gallo. Kemp's going to go for 2. Gallo with a strong arm throws this one into left field, but it'll all stop there. Kemp will have an infield hit and a move to second on the error.
And this was going to take an excellent throw from Jurickson Profar to get Matt Kemp, and unfortunately the throw was up the line a little bit. How many times do we see middle infielders, or all infielders for that matter, will intentionally bounce this ball in the grass so that the first baseman can get a nice hop? Well, it looked like Jurickson Profar was going to try to get that ball in the air, but you could see that it was up the line a little bit toward the outfield and in the dirt, and that would have been a really tough pick for Joey Gallo. As you see the reaction here of Jurickson Profar, he knew it too. It's kind of one or the other, right? I mean, if you're going to bounce it, it's fine, but you want to make sure that that throw is at your first baseman. And if you're going to go aggressive and try to reach in the air, then it's okay if it's to the bag one side or the other. But to bounce it and pick it, that'd be a pretty tough play for Joey Gallo.
Well, it means the inning is extended now for Kike Hernandez, starting center fielder tonight for the Dodgers. Well, partly out of necessity and partly because they have the movable parts. The Dodgers have taken guys like Hernandez and used them all over the diamond this year. 1-1 the count.
By the way, that error, number 56 for the Rangers this year. That is the most in baseball. Put them 6 up on the Philadelphia Phillies and San Francisco Giants.
Shot there, Dave Roberts, who you got to believe enjoys having all the versatile pieces on this team. I said Kike Hernandez has been used around. Well, he's seen time at every position except pitcher and catcher this season.
That's amazing. This early already. But you're right. And having that flexibility is huge. We have seen it. The trend in the game right now, it's there. And it's unusual now if you almost don't see a really good, usable utility player on a big league roster for each team.
The crazy thing to me is, like with the Dodgers, you take the premium spots like shortstop and center field, and really those are 2 spots where they use maybe the greatest variety of players. Line drive to right field. Coming up with the quickly Mazzara. Kemp's being waved to throw to the plate.
Oh.
He is out at the plate. Big collision between Chirinos and Kemp, and some pushing and shoving, and here we go.
I'll tell you what, Robinson Chirinos upset about what happened, and understandably so, as Matt Kemp barreled him over. Now, remember, the rules are still the same, where you can run into the catcher if the catcher is blocking the plate. And that is certainly the approach that Matt Kemp took, who believes that is exactly what happened. Well, Robinson Chirinos did not take too kindly to that slide. And it wasn't a slide, but it was a barrel from Matt Kemp. Let's take a look at this here. Base hit. First of all, excellent job by Nomar Mazara to get behind this ball, line himself up. Perfect throw. The throw brought Robinson Chirinos into the line. And that's why Matt Kemp felt that he could push and knock Robinson Chirinos over. And you see these guys scrapping a little bit. The throw was allowed to bring you there, and that is exactly what happened. Matt Kemp almost looked like he started to give up and then decided that he was going to barrel Robinson Chirinos. And that, for me, is an illegal slide. The umpires right now getting together and talking about it. I wonder if they're going to make a decision on whether or not they'll consider making an ejection based on everything that's happened right here between Robinson Chirinos and Matt Kemp.
Well, all the blue shirts have walked over to their side. All the white shirts have walked over to their side now, and things have settled down for the moment. But that one ends the inning. And wow, a little fireworks. We go to the 4th. It's 2-0. Buick. Visit your local Buick dealer today. What beautiful sight there. The setting sun out here on the West Coast. Dave Roberts talking with our umpiring crew. No doubt about that. Last play we just saw Robinson Chirinos blocking the plate. Kemp waved inadvisedly, by the way. That is lost in this in the melee afterward. It was kind of stunning to see Kemp basically thrown into the Lions' den there, because with Mazzara throwing, you knew there was going to be a play at the plate. Nomar with his 6th outfield assist.
Yeah, Nomar did a great job in that regard. Got behind that ball, and now you see Dave Roberts out here arguing, which leads me to believe that Matt Kemp might have been ejected from this game. We haven't heard anything official yet. Take another look at it right here. Good job by Nomar. Really good throw, but a little bit up the line. And so that caused Robinson Chirinos to then all of a sudden obstruct home plate. And once you obstruct home plate, you are allowed to run into the catcher. That is one of the biggest misconceptions right now in the game, where people think that contact is not allowed. See how the throw, there was no clear path for Matt Kemp to home plate. And so because of that, he is actually allowed to run into Robinson Chirinos. You see the clear path there. Now the clear path is gone. And because of that, even though it wasn't intent by Robinson Chirinos to block home plate, it was the throw that took him there. And you see Matt Kemp even kind of stepping up there and saying, to some degree, one way or another, that he felt like he was within his rights to do that. But it does appear that he has been ejected from this game. I don't see him anywhere.
Yeah, both of them ejected. Peterson is now in left field. Yeah, but both have been ejected.
That's the part that's confusing now. For Robinson Chirinos, he's frustrated by it, and he's annoyed. And that's okay, too. It's okay to get a little bit worked up and get angry at some contact that you weren't expecting, but it was the throw. When it really wasn't a bad throw, it was just that it was a little bit off the plate, and that brought Robinson Chirinos in front of the plate, and there was no clear path for Matt Kemp. And when you don't have a clear path, you are indeed allowed to run into the catcher, although we don't like seeing that anymore. It just really hasn't been a part of the game.
But basically nothing dirty.
No, I don't think so.
And the ejections are for the activities after the play. So there goes Chirinos. He'll head into the clubhouse, and he's taking his book with him.
And listen, I mean, anybody that knows this Rangers team, has been around this team, has ever listened to Robinson Chirinos talk, you're not going to run into a nicer, more humble guy. But when you compete, an adrenaline will flow a little bit. And it's understandable that he got upset about that, even though it was within the rules.
Well, it is totally understandable, no matter the scenario. But then you also might want to take into consideration, if you're just wondering where the reaction comes from. You're talking about a guy who lost a year of the big leagues to concussions. I mean, he was unable to play for basically a full season, and that's been a big story and a big part of his life since then. And that is not, a trifling matter when you've been through that, as this one fouled away by Mazzara, and it's 3-2.
And you could sit there and say, and you're absolutely right, and that's, I think, part of it for Robinson Chirinos. There's that other party that you feel like the game has changed in that regard, and Matt Kemp was out by a lot, right? It was going to be a real easy out, and so I probably think also, if you're Robinson Chirinos receiving that ball and the way the game has changed, you're not anticipating the contact anymore, and you're thinking, you know what, I got this guy out real easy. And so it's not going to be a problem. And then you're surprised he decides he's going to run into you. And, so much going on during the game and during that play for Robinson Chirinos. The last thing he's probably thinking about is, I got to worry about Big Matt Kemp running me over. The reaction again, I think it's justified.
Justified, and yet so too is the ejection.
Yeah.
You can't do it.
No.
Can't.
It's just part of the game. It happens. Adrenaline is a real thing, and guys will get angry, and you're going to lose your cool once in a while, and that's all right.
3-2 to Mazzara, and he hits this ball a ton high in the air, center field. Hernandez, a weird read on this one, gets back to the wall and makes the catch. And that is out number one. I think Kike Hernandez measured that 3 different times until he finally got it right there. I was like, yeah, what was that?
Well, he's had a couple of big high fly balls to deal with. The Joey Gallo one, and now this one. This is, we call the Dave Raymond special, which should have been a relatively routine catch, but try to get on the highlight reel, wait, and then jump at it, even though you really didn't need to. That takes me back to your Nebraska days.
Yeah, that would, first of all.
Did you see that catch?
Yeah. I would have taken a much worse route than that, but that was not a good one. Here's Beltre, and a breaking ball turns him away from the plate. It was weird, like he kind of head faked a couple of times there. Stop, like, oh, here's my, no, I'm going to go back a little further. And nope. Shank to the right side, 1-1 on Beltre. Grounded out in the second inning. Maeda really has breezed for the most part tonight. Rangers made him work a little bit more in the third inning. Had the base hit by Odor, the walk by Chu, and now the pitch count beginning to rise just a little bit. Seeing more competitive at bats his second time through. 2-2 to Beltre. Shoots this one out to the power alley right field. That one will get down. Base hit. Hernandez knocks it down, wrestles it to a stop on the warning track and gets it back in, but not before Beltre has a double. And Madison Koshin, her favorite player, just broke a tie with Ichiro Suzuki on the all-time hit list.
Pretty amazing to watch Adrian continue to get it done and doing it in such incredible fashion. Look at that pitch. That's a really good slider down and away. And for most hitters, they'll pull off that ball. But watch Adrian stay down, head down, not only hit it the other way, but with something behind it, driving it the other way. And then Hernandez, it's been a little bit of an adventure out there in center field so far this evening. But I got to see what pitch number was that on the game. Was that 7 for him?
Oh,
that's what I said it was going to be until you tried to make me say something else. That was 9. Darn it.
Well, there it is. Hit number 3090. So he is now 1 clear of Ichiro and marching down Dave Winfield, 20th on the all-time list. Still 20 hits ahead. And Winfield was here today.
Was he really?
Yeah, he was down on the field talking to the guys during batting practice. 1-1 on Profar now.
Pretty incredible athlete, Dave Winfield.
Yeah, one of the all-timers right there. Considering could have played in the NFL or the NBA.
That's absurd.
Flare out toward left field. That one drops in. Beltre around third. Beasley's going to wave him. Hernandez up with a baseball. Throws to the plate. Not in time. Beltre gets around the tag.
Wow, what a slide by Adrian Beltre. The Dodgers are going to take a look at this and they may consider challenging it. But I got to tell you, I didn't know it was going to be close. And as much as we've gotten on Hernandez as far as what he has done defensively, this was a really strong throw, and now the Dodgers are going to ask to have this challenge and looked at in New York, and you see Adrian kind of reading the throw. I got to tell you, that's pretty close.
That's very close.
I think he's safe. I don't know if there's enough there. Let's take a look here to get it turned over.
Well, there's no doubt that a tag was put on him. The question is, did the foot get in there first? So here we go.
See right. Nah, you can't turn that over. No chance. I say no chance.
Not on that.
That look right there says that contact with the plate and contact with the glove happen right at the same time. And we see these all the time, right? Plays that are really close, unless there's another look that we don't see. I mean, they're cheering here in Los Angeles like they know what they're talking about. But I'm going to throw it out there a little bit. I'm going to go up against these 48,000 or so fans and say that that will not be turned over.
Ford replay review. Right now back in the studios in New York where they are breaking this one down. I'm with you. If that replay that we saw the last time, they were able to slow down near the plate, was the best that they could do, then there's just no way. But it looked very, very close to simultaneous, the tag and the foot on the plate.
You know what was great about that? The second replay that they showed up here on the screen didn't look nearly as convincing as the fans thought the first time, and the cheer was a little bit, oh, well, maybe not. There it is one more time, yeah. Good view there. That one's just too tough to tell, just too close to figure out. And this tighter one here will give you an idea. Watch that foot. It's amazing. We always joke around about the happy feet of Adrian Beltre. Oh, that one. You know what? I'm a little on the fence now. That one.
Well, you are waffling all over the place.
I am waffling. It's the safest way for people not to tell you you're wrong.
What do you mean? I had it right the second time.
I'll tell you what, see, when we saw that one step by step right there, that was a little bit closer than I thought. So I'm on the fence now.
Well, I still say that it was a little too close, and the length of time that this is taking makes me feel better and better by the moment that the call will stand. Bill Welke, our third base umpire and crew chief, on the headsets with Lance Barrett, tonight's plate umpire.
We got to be getting close to that 2-minute mark, don't we?
But it's not. That's not like a rule.
It's not a rule, but it's what Major League Baseball would like to see.
I thought it was 1 minute. They want to be under.
No, because average replay is usually somewhere in the 135 area, and I think that they've wanted to push them a little bit more on being under 2.
All right, here we go. Looks like they have received the final word. Safe. All right, the run counts.
Told you.
And it's a 2-1 game. Now Beltre can get his high fives. That's right.
I think Adrian even knew this was going to be kind of close, and there's that big exhale and big smiles all the way around.
Trying to recreate the excitement of the moment, man. It's safe. So RBI single by Profar, and he moves up on the throw. And big smiles from Adrian Beltre. 2-1 the score. Profar now in scoring position for Gallo, and he rips this one into right field. That's a base hit. Profar around third. He's going to run through the stop sign. Here comes a throw. It's high, and now going to second base is Gallo. So the game tied at 2. Profar with a risky decision to run through the stop sign. What with the arm of Puig, but fortunately the throw was off, and this game is tied.
I got to tell you, I like the aggressiveness of Jurickson Profar. You and I were talking yesterday about how Yasiel Puig had really learned to hone it in and when to know to hit the cutoff man. This, for me, was one of those times. First of all, good job by Joey Gallo. Look how high this throw is. There was not going to be a play at home plate, and what Yasiel Puig just allowed was Joey Gallo to go ahead and go to second base and get in the scoring position with just one out. Good base running all the way around by the Rangers.
So now Carlos Perez, who has had to come into this game with Chirinos being ejected, gets his first at bat of the night. Lifts this one high in the air. It'll pop up near third base. Turner waits. 2 gone. So Beltre very narrowly beats the tag at the plate. Profar scores well ahead of an errant throw. Not an errant throw. There's no error charge to Puig, but not a very good throw. And now Odor, after the pop-up, will be walked intentionally. Heads to first base, and instead they will allow Kenta Maeda to throw to Cole Hamels.
National League Baseball, no doubt that intentional walk used a lot more. Especially with the 8-hole hitter and the pitcher coming up next makes a lot of sense. See if Cole Hamels can help himself here with 2 outs.
Not a bad hitter. That's all those years with the Phillies. He's a lifetime, like nearly a 175 hitter. Had a number of seasons where he'd have 15 or so hits. Fouls this one back. Not a bad cut. He was up there in the 3rd inning trying to bunt. He was trying to move Odor to second base. And the bunt, unfortunately, was left right in front of the plate. Made for an easy play for Austin Barnes, the catcher.
Cole Hamels has got a home run under his belt as well. Back in 2012, he went deep. 29 RBIs, chance to add on, get to that even 30. Strikeout to walk ratio, about what you would expect. 259 punch-outs over the course of his career and 705 plate appearances. 2, what do you think, walks? 700 plate appearances.
700 plate appearances.
Basically a big league season. Got 259 punch-outs.
I'll say he's walked like 11 times.
17 times. Not bad. I mean, your guess wasn't bad. The 198 on base percentage. Not great. But you'll take it. He's been good.
Yeah.
He knows what he's doing. All those years in Philadelphia.
Again, for a pitcher, you just want a guy who can handle a little bit and give you that threat, and I think he does.
No doubt. Put the ball in play once in a while, be able to get your bunts down. Hugely helpful.
So Gallo at second, Odor at first, but the count, no balls and 2 strikes here. Rangers have already scored 2 to tie it. And this one off the handle foul.
Cole was looking at his bat right there. I think he was looking at the wrong part. He appeared to be taking a glance at the barrel, and I think the mark right there below the dot, that little circle on the bat, is closer to where he hit that one. But the bat didn't break, which is impressive.
Cole's a good golfer. I mean, it makes sense that you could translate some of that into a baseball swing here. Out in the dirt, 1-2 the count.
So in your case, if you were hitting,
yeah,
you would aim to center field and hope it stayed fair, if you're using the golf analogy.
Yeah, that's exactly it. That's exactly it. Aim for the big part of the yard and hope you can just keep it inside either one of those lines. You never know which one.
True.
Snap hook it, you can slice it.
Suffer that same disease.
Well, at the very least, he's made Maeda work a little bit here. 1-2 pitch and a little tapper, second base, and that will do it. But the Rangers pick up 2 and tie the game.
That was a good inning for the Rangers. Couple runs on the board. Adrian Beltre, Jurickson Profar with some big hits. Joey Gallo as well. Good base running and high fives all the way around.
4th inning. Mentioned that Father's Day is coming up this weekend. Coming out to the ballpark. Rockies and Rangers, interleague baseball out of Globe Life Park. First 15,000 fans to the park on Sunday are going to get a Rangers reversible bucket hat, courtesy of Fox Sports Southwest and Southwest Airlines. You get your tickets at TexasRangers.com or by calling 972-RANGERS. So Cole Hamels, a little run support all of a sudden. And of course, we saw last inning Carlos Perez hitting in the inning, and now for the first time tonight we'll be back in the squat back there for Hamels. Chirinos ejected from the ball game after a collision last inning. Matt Kemp tried to bowl him over, and the two went chin to chin, and both were ejected from the game. Bellinger will start things off for the Dodgers in the 4th inning. Walked his first time up and takes that one in. 1-1. And by the way, a little correction. Sean Barber is our plate umpire tonight. Lance Barrett had to plate yesterday. Little detail.
Let's call him Blue.
Jumped up a little bit last time during the review, but that is Sean Barber.
That's one of the things you don't do. You learn pretty quickly when you become a professional baseball player that you don't call an umpire Blue.
Call them by their name.
Call them by their name, yes. Same thing with your coaches. You never call them coach professionally. Skip, you can get away with.
Yeah.
To your big league manager or your manager. That's about it. Okay, coach or Blue, and you will be laughed off the field by your teammates.
All right. Well, what about with an umpire? Small suggestion as Hamels and Perez work to figure things out here. What about just like Haas or Buddy, Chief?
Not a good idea. I think
Biggin?
Offense to it. Biggin. While it's a great phrase, no.
In the dirt, and Bellinger walks to start the 4th inning. Oh, it just wouldn't play then, huh? You call there, Biggin.
Number 66, Yasiel Puig.
Here comes Yasiel Puig.
It was interesting to watch Cole Hamels there against Bellinger and the decision he made. 3 breaking balls in the at bat, ultimately losing him there, but tipping his hand a little bit as far as what he is most comfortable throwing to the young lefty.
Third walk of the night issued by Hamels, and he misses to Puig with ball 1. That means that Hamels, and for that matter the rest of the Rangers bullpen, they can't afford to give up any more free bases tonight. Bouncer first base, nice pick, Gallo. Lob over to second for 1. The relay to first. Hamels a little late getting there. And so Puig is safe.
Great play by Joey Gallo, who obviously has not played nearly as much first base this year, but has looked very comfortable. As you see him going to his right, making a really nice throw on the run, and Ruge gets out of the way. But as you mentioned, Cole Hamels was a little late, and he mentioned it. He knew it right away. You see him kind of standing there for a second. That little bit of a pause. It wasn't much. That's all it takes when you have a guy like Yasiel Puig running down the first baseline.
So Puig replacing Bellinger at first on the fielder's choice, and now Logan Forsythe takes low. So as I was mentioning, you don't want to allow any more walks because the Rangers, they're on a nice little run right now. 22 straight games in which they have allowed 3 or fewer walks. It's the longest such streak in baseball since the Twins went 23 consecutive games 3 years ago, almost to the day. Their streak ended on June 17th. The Rangers have done such a great job of keeping freebies off the bases. It's made a big difference in their ability to be competitive. But now a 2-1 count to Logan Forsythe.
Some pressure there. I wonder sometimes if the guys pay attention to those kinds of things. More often than not, you really don't realize it. But it has been a good run. Big picture, more importantly, right? That was an area in which the Rangers wanted to address.
And swing and a miss. Runner goes, and the throw down there to second base. Got Puig. Second time this year he's been gunned down trying to steal a base. And another great one from Carlos Perez. They're 2 away.
Carlos Perez has done a nice job this year throwing for the Rangers. That is the 4th runner that he has thrown out this season, and not a great jump from Puig. We know he does have some good speed as he peeks in, and the throw was even on the shortstop side of second base. Just to give you an idea of how hard that throw was. And you see Puig trying to kind of work that swim move a little bit and get the left hand out of the way, but he couldn't do it in time.
So count stays 2-2 after the foul ball there by Forsythe. And Hamels a chance to face the minimum here in the 4th inning. It's a full count. Austin Barnes, the catcher, waiting on deck. Pitch count for Hamels over 60 now as he works here in the bottom of the 4th. Rangers trying to put an end to a losing streak of 5 games right now. That matches their longest losing streak of the year. So good to have their ace out there. 3-2 pitch and a high pop up, short right field. And coming in for it, Mazzara, and he'll put it away, and the inning is done. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left. We go to the 5th.
Terry by sharing a photo or video with hashtag Hats Off for Heroes. For each post, T-Mobile will donate $1 to support veterans.
All right, 4 innings in the books. And the top of the order coming here for the Rangers in the 5th. Chu, DeShields, and Mazzaro. An entertaining one here tonight. Yesterday, we saw the Dodgers get out quickly and then just open up a huge lead. They cruised to the 12-5 win. Today, they scored the first 2 runs of the game. But the Rangers have come back. We have had some fireworks with some activity at the plate. And now it's a new game. Kenta Maeda, his first pitch to Chu. And this one the other way to left field. Peterson and Hernandez converging. And that one is high off the fence. And Chu has a double. So a walk and a double. He's on 2 more times here tonight.
This ball was well hit, and looks like Jeff Bannister is going to come out and talk to the umpires here to see whether or not this hit the top of the wall was a home run, and they are going to come take a look at it. It had a weird bounce, which told me that it probably was a home run. Let's see it here. Nope, look at that. Wow. And you understand why Jeff Bannister would come out. I mean, you just don't see the ball bounce off the wall like that. And it's unfortunate. This is one of those situations where it's going to take a little bit longer. They're still working their way to their headphones, and we already know that it was indeed a double, and that ball stayed in the ballpark.
Play is under review.
Well, it's interesting. You would think you would just take the quick second to get a look at that first.
Yep.
It must have felt like he really saw something, and yeah, that was, there you go. It is just a double.
Record time. So check this out, though. So Chu is up, third time for him. Now that means that Maeda gets to face the order third time through. That's a big deal here when you have a Dodger uniform on. They have the fewest batters faced third time through the order. You see them, excuse me, second fewest at 279 this year. The Marlins, I don't know if that's necessarily a theory for them or just because their starting pitching has struggled. And you see the Rangers 26th, 415 at bats third time through the order. So that philosophy here with the Los Angeles Dodgers, they get away from it a little bit with Maeda, and he'll get that opportunity. Now, he has been very good in these spots. For Maeda, just a 140 batting average against third time through the order.
And at some point, Dave Roberts has just got to take some pressure off that bullpen. They have worked a lot. They've been good, but they have logged a ton of innings, especially lately. Shields wants to bunt, and that one fouled off. The count 0-2.
You see the frustration from Delino, knowing that he probably should have pulled his bat back there. That off-speed pitch never came back in to the strike zone, just kind of hung up and in. But the other part of that, and I wonder too, the Dodgers probably somewhat proud of this. Third time through the order, their pitchers have posted a 640 OPS. That's the best in Major League Baseball. So they've limited their exposure, but they've worked it really well.
Shields swings and misses, and that strikeout is the first out of the inning.
Take a look at this. And Delino to Shields at times will chase that slider out of the zone. Kenta Maeda knew it. On that 0-2 count, see this pitch starting right on the kind of outer third, but finishing well off the plate. Delino trying to protect with 2 strikes. Could not get to that slider, and I mentioned the really good whiff rate that Maeda has on that slider. 4th best among National League starters.
Well, now he gets Nomar Mazara. Rangers came up with some big hits with runners in scoring position last inning. And Mazara, who is typically quite adept at that sort of thing, has an opportunity right here. Nomar last year led the team with 101 RBIs. There's Chu, the man out at second base. And a swing and a miss. Maeda working today. We've mentioned it a few times. First day back off the disabled list, and he's working with Austin Barnes, who has pretty much lost the everyday catching job here, a job that he earned last year, but just did not perform early this year. He's catching Maeda today, in part because those two just sync up really well. 1 and 2 to Mazara. And if you look at Maeda's splits by catcher, Barnes has caught more innings than Yasmani Grandal with Maeda. 27 1/3 coming into today. The ERA is less than 1 when those two are working together. Whereas with Grandal, the ERA is right near 6.5 in 25 innings. And then all the peripherals are obviously going to trend in that same direction. 1-2, little bouncer over the mound, charging in from shortstop Taylor. Throws to first in time, and he gets Mazara 2 away.
Teams certainly recognize those kinds of things, and they know where their pitchers are and where they're most comfortable. And this is one of those situations where you don't mind having some flexibility when you look at the catching situation here in Los Angeles. You mentioned last year and kind of how things went down and the job that Barnes did, and certainly the respect and the trust that he earned. And even though he got off to that slow start, still feel pretty good about matching him up with the pitcher that they think he is best with.
So now Beltre 1 for 2, and that hit earlier moved him past Ichiro Suzuki on the all-time hit list. Well, it also in moving him past Ichiro means that he has the most hits all time of any foreign-born player in Major League history. He'd already wrapped up the Dominican title. Now, I mean, there's nobody from any other foreign country who has more career base hits than Beltre. And that one catches a corner. Now let's talk extra base hits for foreign-born players. Beltre passed Manny Ramirez with that double. The only guys left in front of him, Rafi, Big Papi, and the Machine, which I think is a rock band. 2-2 the count.
Adrian kind of forced to swing at that slider that was off the plate because the previous pitch, which I thought was a ball, was called a strike. Whenever you see that for an umpire, it lets you know he's going to call that pitch. You certainly can't let it go by.
All right, 2-2 the count. Chu is at third base. And Beltre wants time. Now Maeda winds it up again, and that one's tight. It's a full count. Pitch count for Maeda now at 70 for the evening. Still very good shape that way. Beltre gets a piece and continues to make Maeda work.
That is amazing. The tightness of that slider that he was able to get to that pitch and foul it off. How far away this pitch was, and watch the late break. Look at that late. That's not exactly where you want to put it, 3-2, but Adrian Beltre swinging in that pitch tells you exactly how tight the rotation was on that slider.
And there's ball 4. So Beltre is on. 2 base runners now. And the inning continues. All right, time for a word from our good friends at Southwest Kia.
At Kia, get America's best value backed by a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty.
All right, now this is interesting. We're kind of cut out there, and they want to have a little meeting before Profar gets a chance.
Profar, of course, had the RBI base hit in his last at-bat, last inning, and so making sure they cover the groundwork here, what they want to do. Technically, you don't really have an open base, but there is an open base at second, but I don't think you necessarily want to be careful to Profar with Joey Gallo on deck. This is more about the strategy and what they want to do. And also knowing, as you mentioned, third time through the order is always something that the Dodgers are very well aware of. They already got some action in their bullpen, lefty throwing down there, so very possible for Maeda, if he cannot get through Profar, that his evening may be close to coming to an end.
All right, so Profar, a base hit, that single last inning, drove in a run, and then would score later in the very same inning. That tied the game. Chance here to give the Rangers their first lead in this series. With Chu 90 feet away, the pitch on the way, and Maeda misses that outside corner.
So another thing you look for, and you always look for little signs with pitchers and whether they're fatiguing both mentally and physically. Now the pitch that Maeda threw to Adrian Beltre, the last pitch, was absolutely a ball. That pitch right there, absolutely a ball. But you see him staring in at the umpire and expecting to get that call. It's almost like you're kind of hoping and wishing that they'd be called a strike, but clearly his last 3 pitches haven't been strikes. So you look for that as a coach as well, not just where's the velocity or is he hanging pitches, but you look for the body language, and the body language right now tells you that Maeda's getting tired. He's kind of hoping to get some calls on pitches that are out of the strike zone.
He'll step away.
and also that he is trying to stay away from the middle of the plate. Right? We see him working these edges right now, and you start to get fatigued and you feel like your stuff is not exactly the same. You don't necessarily want to split the plate in a 2-2 game with a runner in scoring position.
Right. Quality strike right there makes it 2-1 on profile. Well, Jurickson yesterday was 1 for 5 with an RBI. Hit about 250 over the last month or so. Bounces this one right side, and an easy hop for Forsythe, who was in perfect position. The inning is done. Rangers lead 2. Halfway there tonight, tied at 2. Now, they've been all over as we get ready to go here bottom of the 5th. Hey, we want to say thanks to T-Mobile, because now fans can receive a 20% discount on tickets in the all-you-can-eat seats in the home run porch on Friday. You get your tickets this Friday night. Rockies in town to play your Rangers. And the coupon code is T-Mobile at TexasRangers.com/specials. All right, Hamels to Austin Barnes. Struck him out looking in the second inning. And the 1-0. That one taken for a strike. So Hamels, we mentioned earlier, grew up in San Diego, a little south of here. It's now his 3rd full season with the Rangers. Made his name as a Philadelphia Philly in the National League, so pitched plenty against the Dodgers, and he gets Barnes looking for a second time tonight. Another strikeout. One away here in the 5th inning. Now time for a Chevy game break. Let's bring in John Radigan. All right, thank you, John. And we'll take a look at the standings in the American League West. Seattle won earlier today. As this pitch a little bit, well, on the corner. 0-2 to the pinch hitting Breivik Valera rather. And he swings and misses. So nice to meet you. We'll catch you next time.
Well, it didn't take all here long at all for Cole Hamels, and let's see the good changeup below the zone after getting ahead 0-2. We talk about it so often with pinch hitters. You get yourself in a hole and not in the flow of the game, and you become very susceptible to a strikeout, especially against Cole Hamels. That changeup has been so good for him. The swings and misses. He's gotten most of his strikeouts this season on the cutter, the changeup, and the curveball.
Chris Taylor, and this one just flared over third. Boy, Profar almost got to that ball out in short left field. 2 comes up firing, and that one not in time. Taylor has a double.
Well, he didn't hit it very hard, but he hit it in a good spot. We saw the check swing double last night from Bellinger, and this one here, like a jam shot. As you're going to see Adrian Beltre just missed this thing, and then, as you mentioned, that effort from Jurickson Profar to try to get to it. Not that you see the funky spin on it. Not that he would have had to play at first, but it would have prevented the double. So you certainly appreciate the effort from Jurickson Profar. But you saw his reaction right there. The ball obviously had a lot of side spin on it that he wasn't expecting.
We have to have seen the 2 softest doubles of the year these last two games.
Well, it was 45 miles per hour the exit velocity yesterday from Bellinger. I think this one was a little bit harder. I'm going to say somewhere around 57. It wasn't hit that hard. What do you think?
You say last night was 45. I'm going to say this was barely over 50, 52.
I win 56, unless you're going with the overbid Price is Right rules. Then you win.
Well, then that's what we're going with. Turner takes the ball. It's 2-0. Justin Turner, a home run of the first, grounded out of the third. 2 outs here, a man at second base. And now Turner wants time. And I mentioned yesterday how Turner, his career is turned around mid-career here in LA. Holds this one foul. It's 2-1. I mean, he bounced around a little bit. The Reds, the Orioles, then the Mets. Most notably, that's where a lot of people really became acquainted with Turner. He's a 260 hitter in those years. Had 8 home runs and a 684 OPS. Since then, 4 years with the Dodgers, hitting over 300. OPS over 800, 71 homers.
It's amazing how his career has changed. And I mean, obviously, personally for him, you look at his time with the Mets, and he was kind of a utility guy that they designated for assignment. Or I guess they non-tendered him, I believe it was. And ends up here with the Los Angeles Dodgers and just absolutely goes on fire. You see what he's done with runners in scoring position, which he has one right now out at second base. It's been a good year for Turner.
In the dirt, and that is ball 4. So Turner draws the walk. And the Dodgers have a couple of base runners. And there goes that streak for the Rangers. 4th walk of the game. And more importantly, it does get Jock Peterson to the plate with runners on base. And Peterson, who came in after Kemp was ejected, he was a guy who was not in the lineup. Left-handed hitter with the lefty Hamels out there for matchup reasons. But Peterson maybe swinging the hottest bat on this team. Hit his 8th home run last night in a 3-hit game, his 4th 3-hit game of the year. Boy, he was swinging for it all right there.
I had him talking before the game about making adjustments, but you watch him, it's not like he's cut a swing down at all. He felt like he has been getting opportunities where pitches have been in his zone. And as hard as he swings, as you see what he's done here this month, it's been pretty incredible. 481 with 7 home runs. But as hard as he swings, I mean, if he gets a hold of it, it's going to go. And they've been going in June.
A lot of talent, a lot of ability. Came up quickly through their system. Very highly regarded. And taps this one out in front of the plate. Hamels have it. Fires in time. And they get Peterson. The inning is done. So the Dodgers leave 2. We go to the 6th inning. 2-2 game.
Good one here in Los Angeles so far. We saw Justin Turner hit a home run in the 1st inning against Cole Hamels, and then we saw Enrique Hernandez with the base hit to right. But how about this play at the plate? A good strong throw from Nomar Mazara, which resulted in a collision between Matt Kemp and Robinson Chirinos. Chirinos not happy, and so some pushing, some shoving. Both Chirinos and Matt Kemp were ejected when it was all said and done. In the 4th inning, the Rangers doing some damage as they string together a couple of hits and a couple of runs on the board. Adrian Beltre scoring on that base hit. That was reviewed ultimately, and he was ruled safe. And then Joey Gallo coming up big and driving in Jurickson Profar. That has tied the game, and that is where we stand. As we kind of expected, the Dodgers are now into their bullpen, and it's going to be Paredes who comes in, the left-hander. We saw him throw an inning last night. There is his season 5th game of the year for him. 3 strikeouts to no walks so far at this point. And Paredes, a fastball that averages 89 miles per hour. He's got a slider and a changeup as well.
Dodgers had Monday off. I think they have tomorrow off as well. And so, while Paredes did throw yesterday, easy enough to use him again today. Indeed, they will enjoy a day off tomorrow here in Los Angeles before the Giants come to town. A 3-game series with their longtime rivals. 0-2, the count to Joey Gallo. Well, Gallo, a base hit today in 2 tries, has driven in a run. Joey today getting the start at first base. And holds off and takes strike 3 call. Joey down looking. One away.
Nice job by Paredes. Good breaking ball here, and so borderline 0-2 count. You see it just catching the outside corner as it finishes Probably off the plate, but as across the plate, really close to take. And of course, you know, Joey Gallo is working on that plate discipline and trying to understand the strike zone the best he can. That was a pretty tough 0-2 pitch.
One away, and Carlos Perez is second at bat of the night. Perez popped up in the 4th inning. So 0 for 1 tonight. He's come in to take over for Chirinos after the ejection. 1-0 pitch. And that'll even it up.
An interesting fastball there from Paredes, and this Dodgers bullpen lately has been very good. Here's what they've done over their last 24. Good ERA, 3.12. You mentioned the innings, and that certainly has been somewhat of an issue. And the Rangers bullpen equally as good, going back well over a month. But they have gotten good production. Now they carry a lot of relievers, at least right now, as they're kind of going through this issue with the starters that have been hurt, and so relievers taking on more innings, and you're going to need more relievers when you do that.
31-year-old right-hander comes in, catches a corner. 2-2.
It was interesting to see the fastball only registering at 89 miles an hour. It looked like it had a little bit of giddy up on it the first pitch that Paredes threw to Perez.
We'll stay 2-2. One out, nobody on in the 6th. Another close game for the Rangers. They have seemingly played a lot of these lately. When it comes down to the last handful of innings of the bullpens. This ball ripped foul.
We just showed what the Dodgers have done lately, and the Rangers bullpen has been good as well. And so certainly want your bullpen kind of in a groove and feeling pretty good about themselves as they're playing close games. Obviously last night was not a close one for the Rangers, but the quality of the arms and the consistency so important when the game is tight late.
Carlos Perez not letting Paredes get away with anything here. Fouling off a number of pitches, some of them not even that close. Paredes, well traveled, originally signed by the Mariners as an amateur free agent back in 2005. Grew up in the Dominican Republic. He's since been with the Indians, Angels, Tigers, and then last year with the Dodgers. High fly ball to center field. 2 away. All right, Odor headed to the plate, and we head down to Emily Jones.
Yeah, and Rougned Odor acutely aware of the fact that his season has not gone the way that he has planned, and he's not been the player that he has expected himself to be. And he's put in the work in the last couple of weeks, especially working on literally every aspect of his game, whether it be footwork, defense in the field, in the cage, anything he can do to try to get back to the player that he knows he can be. He acknowledges that so much of this game is mental, that if he can take care of the physical, that the mental will take care of itself.
Well, he watches a strike from Paredes, and today Odor's been on a couple of times, a base hit and an intentional walk. And lately, you look at just his simple ability to get on base, it's been pretty good. He's hitting 270 over the last 18 games, and that number, at least to this point, goes up a little bit more.
Well, it's been encouraging too as you listen to Emily talk about Rugi's kind of approach to what's going on and making sure that he's doing all those other things. When you're not having the offensive year you expect to have, it is easy to check out once in a while and forget some of those other things in the other parts of your game that are so important.
And he goes down looking here, and Paredes comes in and rips right through the Rangers in the 6th. 2-2.
Airlines player breakdown, and we're going to talk about Cole Hamels and the night that he is having so far this evening. He's done a good job. 5 innings. See the 4 walks. The only thing that sticks out, but 5 strikeouts for him, and off-speed stuff has been good. Even got a couple of those strikeouts on fastballs tonight, and then getting some big ground balls when he needed them. And Cole Hamels has looked pretty sharp tonight outside of those couple of walks. Good change up there, down and away. Good use of the fastball to get a weak ground out of Jock Peterson in a big spot. So far so good here for Cole Hamels. 2 runs, just one of those has been earned. As you see, we're stuck in a tie game here in the bottom of the 6th. It's been a good one. Good energy, a lot going on. Cole Hamels has outlasted his opponent. Maeda only going 5. Well, I guess technically we should wait till we say that, right? He's got to get an out first.
Yeah, in some ways I feel like just going out for the 6th, you've already accomplished that, right? If you throw a pitch. Because in my scorebook, I write down 5+.
Yeah. Ooh, fancy.
Jumps ahead of Hernandez, 0-2. And a weak roller, third base side. Beltre with a bare hand. The throw in time, and there it is. The play we've all grown to love so much. Adrian Beltre with that bare hand, and then sell-out throw to first base, and he takes care of Hernandez, 1 away.
That really is amazing, and we talk about this so much with Adrian Beltre, how he continues to get it done, even though he's had some issues with the legs here and there. Not an issue on defense. The great barehanded play and getting himself in position to make that strong throw. Very impressive from Adrian Beltre. Hey, old timer, nice job, little smile. I mean, the smile tells you it's not that he doesn't expect it, but that it's Adrian who continues to do it all these years. It's incredible. Makes everybody smile.
1 away, and the pitch to Bellinger. Finds a corner, 1-1. The Dodgers' big first baseman. A couple of walks tonight for Bellinger. Big swing and a miss. 1-2. See the season numbers for Bellinger. Last year's National League Rookie of the Year. Pretty close, 2-2.
Top of the strike zone. We haven't seen a lot of that called here so far this evening, but what I like with Bellinger's numbers is that the batting average is down, but the OPS tells a little bit more of the story. It hasn't been as good of a year as last year. No two ways about it. Last year he had a 933 OPS. Sometimes you jump to conclusions just looking at that lower batting average of 241. It's still a good year. He's been well above average in the big leagues as a hitter with that OPS over 800.
It's going to be pretty hard to match what he did last year in the second year. I mean, you do expect guys to get better, but goodness. This ball hit hard out to right field. That's a base hit, and it will split the outfielders and go to the wall. And Bellinger tiptoes into second with a 1-out double. Now, a Coca-Cola Family Pack offers savings of over 50% on tickets, food, Kids Zone access, souvenir programs, and Coke soft drinks. Family Pack is a great way to catch the Rangers when they face the Rockies this weekend on Sunday afternoon. It's a 2:05 game. Just go to TexasRangers.com/specials and get that Coca-Cola Family Pack today. Take Dad out to the ballpark on Sunday, will you?
Is he smelling that baseball?
Yeah,
it little Irvin Santana.
Smells like Mississippi mud.
Isn't you ever see what Irvin Santana would? I haven't seen it in a while, but he would tweet out "smell baseball." That was like his thing. Hashtag smell baseball. Oh yeah.
What does that mean?
I'm not exactly sure, but obviously that guy knows. I think you're the weird one that you don't know. Everyone else is smelling baseballs, except you.
Yeah, I am.
I got something to do on the off day tomorrow.
Typically the outlier. Puig hits this ball hard out to left field, but two right there. Two gone. Southwest bullpen live look, and there is Jose Leclerc. And not throwing. It's not like he's disobeying anybody's instructions. He's just ready to go.
He's put his glove down and said, "Nope, I'm not doing it.
I will not throw." You throw.
And probably one of those innings where it starts and you kind of get him up, you get him loose, get him stretching, playing some light catch, and you don't want to burn a guy out, even though you do have the off day. You're always conscious of how much a guy is throwing, and so Leclerc just kind of mulling around a little bit, making sure that if they need him to get ready in a hurry, he certainly can. And he has really been the guy that you want to bring in the middle of innings. I mean, it's been a nice year for him, but he has been unbelievable with runners on bases. Here's somebody stole his bag. See the guy in the background there taking off his back. Where are you going with my back?
Pretty sneaky.
Don't forget, there's cameras everywhere.
Well, they get that music pumping here at Dodger Stadium. And the first pitch, Logan Forsythe takes the ball. Forsythe today, 0 for 2, has reached on a fielder's choice, and then he's popped up to short right field. Good strike, 1-1 count. A good crowd here today. Yesterday we had over 48,000. A huge Tuesday turnout. And today a little bit shy of that. But they're excited about their Dodgers. 104 wins last year. 5 straight division titles. And even though they came in today in second place in the division, they have been one of the hotter teams in baseball. Dave Roberts, his 3rd year as a manager here. They have won 18 of their last 26 games to, 18 of the last 24 games to get back into it. Diamondbacks lost earlier, so currently trailing by 2.5 games. And it's turned foul by Forsythe.
What a play. And then walk it off, Sean, like it's nothing.
It's all cool, Sean.
That's really well done. Running in the short hop. I'm impressed. Not a problem for Sean as you see this ball line down the left field line. Sees it, tracks it. Didn't see it go in his glove, but it did go in his glove. Now you can laugh.
1-2. Way inside.
A great shot by Perez to keep that ball in front of him as that pitch took off on Cole Hamels a little bit more than he expected. And listen, blocking pitches is tough. Blocking breaking pitches is even tougher. That's a really nice job to keep that ball in front of him and make sure that runner doesn't advance.
So Bellinger at second, 2 out. 2-2 pitch. Swung on and missed, strike 3. Perez digs it out, has to throw down to first, but that completes the inning. So Hamels through 6. We go to the 7th inning, tied at 2. A legendary logger for legendary moments. Rangers fans, this bud's for you. Dodgers. 1962. Taking a look at our progressive upcoming schedule. Rangers headed home after this one. Tomorrow, a day off. But then the Rockies, interleague style over the weekend at Globe Life Park. Then it's back to the road. Very short homestand. 3 in Kansas City, 3 in Minnesota. Well, meanwhile, here, still tied, Scott Alexander. First time we've seen him in the series.
See game number 27 for him. Does have a start in there as well coming out of this Dodgers bullpen. One of 3 lefties that they have down there. And for Alexander, good arm, 93-mile-an-hour fastball. You will see a slider and changeup as well.
His first offering. And their first strike to Hanser Alberto. 5th appearance of the year for Alberto, and Hamels done after 6 good innings tonight. Bouncer, third base. And Turner throws him out, 1 away.
Not surprising to see a ground ball. Alexander has an absurdly high 73% ground ball rate. League average this year has been right around 46%. Put that in perspective for you a little bit. Not a high strikeout guy, just 6.3 strikeouts per 9. The walks have been a little bit high. Not surprising. Sinker ball pitchers, guys with good movement on their fastball. You just saw 2 of them there from Alexander. Will have a tendency to walk hitters. That sinker falls out of the zone a little bit. Sometimes the command can be a little bit of an issue, but that is an incredibly high ground ball rate. He's got 7 double plays this year as well.
Well, we'll see how Chu handles him here. See Chu in the late innings, putting up some really impressive numbers. 345 average. 7th inning and on. 12 homers this year for Chu, and of course he leads the team. He is 4th in the American League with now 42 walks. Walked earlier tonight. Sometimes we see them shift on Chu like they will do with most left-handed batters. And they did go around on that check swing. But right here, the Dodgers play him more or less conventionally. We'd call this a shade.
Yeah, not much at all. You see a little bit on the right side, but not much.
Two balls, 2 strikes. Chu has already been on 2 times tonight. That's a full count.
And I wonder too, remember we talked about the shifts and how interesting it has become and how prominent they have become. A lot of it is based not just on the hitter, but also on the pitcher. And I mentioned the good 2-seam fastball, how often you see it. And so the Dodgers, against a guy like Chu with the 2-seam fastball of Alexander, like playing nearly straight up.
Count stays full. Rangers just looking to get a base runner on here late. See if they can scratch out that go-ahead run. Chu found that one off his foot hard.
Certainly don't feel good. That was a 93-mile-an-hour 2-seam fastball, so it's coming in on the hands of Chu with some depth to it, and you'll see him swing over the top and hit that ball straight into the ground. And see the expression on his face. Watch this right here. Watch his right foot just on the inside of it too. No protection there for Chu. It's a really good pitch though. When you have the good 2-seam fastball the way that Alexander does, to use it inside to lefties. If you can do it effectively, it's a really good pitch.
And he takes high. There's ball 4, so Chu is on.
Center fielder number 3,
That could be a big walk in this game. Chu, the potential go-ahead run here in the 7th inning. And now we'll see what Delano DeShields can do. Becomes a big at bat here for Delano, who's had some troubles lately in terms of coming up with hits, but has been reaching base at a very high clip. He was hit by a pitch earlier tonight, and he had reached in 13 of his previous 25 plate appearances, but this might be a double play. Slow roller second, they get one on to first, not in time. DeShields beats it out, just too slow getting out there to Forsythe. And DeShields, with his speed, was going to beat that out all the way.
A good hustle by Delano. The great speed certainly prevented that double play. And I mentioned it earlier that Alexander has gotten 7 of those double plays, and he tried to make it number 8. It's the great 2-seam fastball, and there it is. You see the late movement, but watch Delano just busting it down the line. So kind of free and easy. It really is incredible. And check this out. You missed it last night. The bunt here was not a great bunt. Look at the speed. 3.50 from home to first. Slightly better. Now the new leader in the clubhouse at the big league level. That was, Delano would tell you, not a great bunt. You would expect an out. He was able to beat it out, even though that ball was dropped. When I first saw it, I thought it was just an error. But the more times I watched that play, the more I thought he probably had that beat anyway. 3.5 is absurd. And don't forget this, he's right-handed.
Right.
More often than not, it's your guys that are coming out of the left-handed batter's box that are going to have your better times. And Bradley Zimmer, think about him, one of the fastest guys when he got sent down. The Cleveland Indians is a good example. A guy that coming out of the left-handed batter's box is going to have an advantage.
You were what, 3.62?
Something like that, somewhere in there, 3.6, 3.7. It was interesting. I remember one year when I was actually with the Rangers in spring training, and they laid out all the information for us. Here's your average big leaguer, and here was Ichiro. And we were having internal clock kind of practice in spring training. I forgot what the numbers were. I think he was like on average, he was like 3.7. Your average big leaguer was like 3.9, whatever the number was. Just practicing fielding bunts.
Boy, Delano just got back in there. Sorry, go ahead.
Yes, he did. That's more exciting than my story, that's for sure. Take a look here. Watch Delano DeShields in the athleticism. Getting back. Nice tight look. Plenty of time. It's a little bigger version of it. He looked like he was thinking about going, or at least getting an aggressive secondary lead. Too often you see guys go that far to the right and get back in time. But understanding that time, that 3.5 that we showed you, it's something you practice spring training. The Rangers were big on it that year. More because Ichiro was just such a pain. They're trying to figure out, hey, you can't take your time on any what might seem like a routine ground ball back to you or bunt, whatever it may be.
Well, 2 outs here. Speedy DeShields over there at first base trying to get a good start. They'll throw over one more time. Delano with 12 steals. What you'd love to see is him get a real good start and a ball find the gap, because he could score from first base on an extra base hit. Depends on the start he gets and where the hit goes. This one out of the dirt. 1 and 2, and now Delano hung up between first and second. Gets back again.
They're making him work over there, aren't they? Yeah. And Delano had made a decision there where he saw that ball in the dirt and he was going to go for it, and then realized it was an incredible play by Barnes to field it cleanly. Check this out right here. Just talking about how difficult breaking balls are to keep in front of you. I mean, he picked that clean as day. That's a really nice job. Delano thought for sure there would be a bobble, or maybe that ball would bounce in front of him and he would take second base easily. That's an excellent job by Austin Barnes.
Yeah, and a really good job by DeShields to get back and make the.
Some guys just go, put their head down and go. You're absolutely right.
Continues the inning. 1 and 2 the count on Nomar, who's hitless so far in 3 tries. Nomar again yesterday scratched from the lineup with flu-like symptoms. Back in there tonight. 1-2, and he stays alive.
And try to play along and guess along here, right? We know Nomar Mazara down in a hole right now, but so good even against lefties this year. It's been a much different story for him. The swings against lefties, the power that he has shown has all been good. And for Delano, he'd love to be able to pick out when. Alexander's going to go back to that breaking ball again. Maybe try to take this back. If it doesn't work out, then Nomar Mazara certainly start over with a fresh at bat next inning.
One, two. Fights it off again. Well, we've talked a lot about Nomar's abilities against lefties this year and how things have changed dramatically for him. And only 19 points lower against left-handed pitching, and still very good power numbers, because he has 6 home runs and 19 RBIs against left-handers. Appreciably more at bats against righties. 1-2, and he swings and misses. Well, that strikeout is it. Rangers leave him in. They stand and stretch here tonight at Dodger Stadium, tied at 2. The scene at Santa Monica Pier. Not far from here. Just a long drive. Hey, the 2018 Camping World MLB All-Star Ballot is now open and exclusively online. Make sure your favorite Rangers are represented on this year's squad by voting at texasrangers.com/vote. You can catch all the excitement of the 89th Major League All-Star Game presented by MasterCard. It's July 17th live on Fox.
That's one of those ones where you put in your GPS and it says like 7 miles, 45 minutes.
Yeah, it's all no big deal. Here's Jose Leclerc.
Good year for Jose so far. You see the sub-2 ERA, the great strikeout to inning ratio. Talked about earlier how good he's been with runners in scoring position, and it's funny when you get in that spot and you do a really good job. Only one runner has scored of the 23 that he's inherited. A lot of people are like, oh, he just must really like those situations. Well, what some relievers would tell you, it's nice to get a clean inning once in a while. It's not always fun to come in with your back against the wall. Even though Jose has been excellent in those spots, I'm sure he'll welcome a clean inning and an opportunity to start one fresh.
He gets the 8 and 9 spots in the order, and then back up top for Chris Taylor. Austin Barnes 0 for 2 with a couple of strikeouts tonight. And he swings and misses, strike 3. So make it a hat trick for Barnes. 1 away. We check in with Emily Jones.
Yeah, and Jose Leclerc really has been making an effort to work on his English. He said he's been talking a lot with the guys in the bullpen in the innings leading up to, where the action takes place. And he said he feels more comfortable. And in fact, the last couple of interviews he's done with us, both at home and on the road, have been done in English. Elena Ornelas, the team translator, will be kind of on hand, but Jose's really kind of taken ownership of his English and wanting to do interviews and communicate in that way, which is very impressive, I know, to those of us who work with the team on a daily basis.
Oh, without a doubt. I'm always in awe of that, even watching Odor, Mazzara, guys that will go ahead and do those interviews. English obviously is their second language. I give those guys a lot of credit because the easy way out would just be to go ahead and use a translator, play it safe. They want to learn. That's really cool, well appreciated. Maybe not as much as it should be, but it's good to know that Jose's digging in a little bit. It just makes life a little bit easier if you can, and I certainly appreciate the effort.
Down low, and it's 3 balls and no strikes.
Who knows? We could probably use a couple of pointers up here.
Well, I was just gonna say it's hard enough for us to speak one language. I don't speak 2. I could use an interpreter sometimes. Some of the nonsense you run off, I don't know what's going on. There's a walk to Max Muncy. So the Dodgers have a runner here in the 8th inning.
Shortstop, number 3, Chris Taylor.
Just kidding. I understand like a full 70 or 80% of what you say. Here's Chris Taylor.
About 20% more than I understand of what I say.
Taylor 1 for 3, doubled his last time up. It was that soft little flare over third. It was nearly tracked down by Profar. Way over and into the grass. So this one gets away. Bounced up there to Carlos Perez. Knocked it down with the end of his glove, but that's probably going to be a wild pitch.
Yeah, I think so. With the ball being in the dirt, almost an automatic, that is how the call will go. Take a look, 14 fastball that cut on Jose Leclerc, and Perez thought he picked it cleanly. He started looking up at the runner and then realized he did not have the ball in his glove.
All right, so Muncy out there at second. 1-1 the count. You could hear the fans here groaning after that swing by Taylor. 8 home runs this year for the Dodgers leadoff man. It was a real spark plug for them last year in that leadoff spot. Guy who had seemingly always bounced back and forth as that guy who was certainly better than a minor league player, better than AAA, but was having a hard time finding a spot in a way to really contribute at the big league level. That is until last season. 2-1 the count.
I always wonder about organizations that go out and they find someone, a player that wasn't their own. They see something and they get more out of that player. We talked about Justin Turner earlier. Certainly a feather in the cap for the Dodgers. And different ways that you put your roster together, but going out and getting a piece from another team that maybe wasn't looked at as valuable as you would value that player, and to see them really flourish has got to be something this organization is proud of.
Reed takes a strike, 2-2.
Like player development obviously is really important. You go out, you draft your players and sign international free agents. You develop those young men into big leaguers. That is certainly something your player development department is really proud of. I'm kind of a little back and forth there, wondering, thinking about the different ways you get there and feeling like, you're maybe a little smarter than everybody else.
It's a swing and a miss, and Taylor strikes out. Second strikeout in the inning for Jose Leclerc. All right, time for a Chevy game break. Let's check in again with John Radigan. That is awesome. Thank you, John.
I saw all kinds of tweets going around about youngest to hit 2 home runs since in the Bronx since Griffey, and then Andrew Jones in the postseason in '96. A couple of good names to be associated with.
Teenagers these days. Well, Justin Turner takes one off the plate, 1-1 the count. Turner had the big home run in the first inning. He walked in the 5th.
You really would think in interleague play that bullpens would have a huge advantage. Think about a guy like Jose Leclerc, who's got that very unusual cut changeup and just struck out Taylor, now going up against a tough hitter in Turner. You don't see that pitch very often. You can watch it on TV. You know, a lot of scouting reports, you see that stuff all the time. It happens. You're watching video and preparing, but until you actually see, especially a guy who's got any kind of unique pitch, it's a battle for these hitters.
All right, he sees a mound visit. Perez out there with Leclerc. Oh, 1 strike away from getting his team back to the plate. The Dodgers with runners in scoring position, just 1 for 8 tonight, and for the year, 246. That number lately has been on the rise for them. That's off the plate, 2-2.
That's a good pitch right there. Just mentioned the guy's not really seeing it and having a good feel. That's a nice job by Justin Turner to lay off that pitch. So many right-handed hitters have swung through that pitch this year against Jose Leclerc.
That one a little bit further off the plate, and it's a full count. Well, you don't have to give in to Turner here. You just as soon take care of him. Jock Peterson waiting on deck. Here's the payoff. And a pop-up back behind home plate. That one will end up out of play.
And you bring up a good point, too, especially because Jose Leclerc, it really doesn't matter left-right. He comes into tonight, 151 batting average against righties, but just a 100 batting average against left-handed hitters. And you would think with that changeup that cuts that would not be an effective pitch. The changeup cutting back in, but it has been against both lefties and righties. And so you don't worry about matchups necessarily with Jose Leclerc.
Well, the 3-2. Got him swinging. And the inning is done. Leclerc strikes out the side in the 7th inning. So we go to the 8th tonight, tied at 2.
Beltre, who does not get very many opportunities as a Texas Ranger to come back to the stadium where he started his career, but he has been showing off defensively this evening. That was a tremendous play that Adrian made, and he swung the bat pretty well tonight also as he drove that ball to right center field for a double. So Adrian Beltre feeling right at home. 19 years old when he put on that first big league uniform with the Los Angeles Dodgers, and here he is 21 years later getting it done in the same stadium.
Pretty crazy.
That's absolutely nuts. Josh Fields now on for the Dodgers. Game number 32 for him. It's been a good season. 2.79 ERA. You see it right there for Fields. 94-mile-an-hour fastball, slider, curveball, and changeup. He's having a conversation. This is kind of interesting here. Umpire pitcher conversation. I don't think any kind of warnings or anything have been issued. Not sure exactly what that might be about. You don't see that too often. When you got a guy that comes in fresh in the game, you usually don't approach him unless we haven't seen the signal for any kind of warnings as far as what happened between Matt Kemp and Robinson Chirinos. So I'm kind of curious.
Yeah, there's been a lot of that tonight. Little side conversations, always with the pitchers. That's also Cole Hamels coming in and out of the dugout, oftentimes stopping and having a word. It looked like with first base umpire Tony Randazzo. That time, though, it was the plate umpire Sean Barber. As Beltre swings through strike one. Now he has doubled and walked, scored a run.
I mean, the only time that really ever happens, you don't do it to just like, hey, how you doing? Good luck tonight. You know, umpires certainly aren't going to do that. It is usually all about warnings or anything that's going on in the game, any message that you want to relay. But usually when there are any kind of warnings, right, the umpire will point to each dugout, let everybody know warnings have been issued, and maybe they did and we didn't see it.
This ball lined into right field, a base hit for Adrian Beltre, his second hit of the night. And the Rangers have the lead man on here in the 8th inning.
It really is amazing to watch him. We showed the double earlier, and here he is again going the other way. And a good fastball at 97 miles per hour. Certainly not easy to catch up to, but Adrian Beltre is still really good against high velocity. And even up in the zone, harder to get to a fastball with that kind of velo when it's up as opposed to down, but not for Adrian.
He's now 6 for 10 against Josh Fields with that base hit right there. So a guy that he definitely sees well. Now here is Profar, and he'll take one very high. Profar with an RBI single tonight and has also scored a run. 2-2 our score. Top of the 8th inning. Interleague baseball yesterday was the first interleague game of the year for the Rangers. With the final major league team to play an interleague game. And of course, they'll go home and play more interleague ball against the Rockies.
Padres, right, come to town before the month is over, if I'm not mistaken.
I think you might be onto something right there. Just looked at our progressive upcoming schedule. Yeah, Padres will be on the next homestand.
So it's feast or famine interleague play for the Rangers this year.
This one back up the middle. Off field, over to first, and a foot race. Bellinger wins it. They get Profar on a 1-3 putout. Beltre goes to second.
That looked like it might have hurt a little bit as this ball was well hit by Jerks and Profar. Fields now hopping around a little bit. So this is one of those deals where you say, well, was it bad luck because it bounced right to Bellinger and turned into an out, but it might have been a double play based on the defensive alignment. See that pitch that's up. Time to react, and I guess the trainers don't care. I'm shocked that they're not out there to take a look at Fields, but they're not.
Well, he did move really well after the play, or after he was struck. But it is sort of interesting. Normally you would see somebody come out. Now here's Joey Gallo. Gallo 1 for 3, the RBI single in the 4th inning.
Just a standard 1-3 put out. I think the Rangers actually caught a break. I think there was a good chance based on where Taylor was playing. It was hit hard, but up the middle, and he was just on the shortstop side of second base where that could have been a double play.
Play back there on Beltre. He's not worried. Some high heat. Gallo couldn't catch up to it. 0-2 the count. Gallo has hit home runs in 2 of his last 6 games. I said he has started anyway. It's a home run every 14 at bats this year. And he's due. A little bit in. 1-2 the count.
It's a good 0-2 pitch, and a lot of people use the phrase and say, our coaches when they're young, oh, you want to waste a pitch 0-2. No, you don't. You want to throw something that has some purpose and meaning behind it. You don't want to split the plate. You prefer to stay on the edges, up, down, in, out, whatever it may be. But to be able to go in like that, to do it with 96 miles an hour is a really good 0-2 pitch.
Gallo swings and misses at strike 3, 2 away. Time for a word from our friends at Southwest Kia.
$250 down, $250 a month or less on select new Kias in stock only at southwestkia.com.
All right, 2 gone. Beltre still out there at second base. And it's going to be up to Carlos Perez to keep the inning going or get that go-ahead run in. Rangers have not led in this series. Good fastball there for a strike. Jake Diekman getting ready for the Rangers.
So if you're wondering, of course, Robinson Chirinos started this game, was ejected after the play at the plate in the scuffle with Matt Kemp. If the Rangers were to run into a problem, they have a pretty legitimate emergency third catcher.
Sure.
In Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, so that certainly makes Jeff Bannister rest a little bit easier as we get deep into this game.
Ground ball, second base. Forsythe, though, right there on top of it. So the inning is done. Rangers leave another man. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning in L.A. Dodgers and Rangers are tied at 2. Rangers baseball is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Low fares, no hidden fees. That's transparency. And by Ford. Visit your local Texas Ford dealer today. Ford is the best in Texas. Does seem like a lot of people are awake.
Yeah.
I mean, turn off.
Isn't it
lights.
the city that never sleeps? Oh,
Come
no.
on.
No.
Hey, our Ford probables after a day off tomorrow. The Rockies are in town, more interleague play. Chad Bettis, see his numbers in interleague play so far in his career. Not great. And Rougned Odori's had some good success against the Rockies, but that'll be Friday night. Our coverage beginning at 6:30 on Fox Sports Southwest. And say hello to Jake Diekman.
Hello, Jake Diekman. You see the pitch arsenal for Jake this season. 94 miles an hour on that average fastball velocity. We've seen him get higher than that as well. You'll see 97, 98 at times from the Rangers left-hander. We see a first pitch breaking ball there, and he's got a good slider and has used it well this season.
So he got a talking to as well from the umpire.
So there must have been some kind of communication. Must have been warnings, and usually when that happens, umpires will mention it to relievers that come in. There's 97.
So here you go. This is what has been going on.
What'd you do on the off day? I went down, hung out, played some.
Oh, sweet, man. You like it here? Yeah. Weather's pretty nice. Well, and it is interesting because we did not hear an announcement. Usually you get that on our in-house PA here, but no such news. Peterson, oh boy, was bailing out on a pitch that just missed.
I don't know if it did miss. We had Fox Tracks catching the corner there. I don't know if because Peterson was so far away at that point. I mean, look how much plate that caught. Excuse me. Slider for Diekman this year. 14 strikeouts registered on that pitch. Make it 15.
There's the strikeout of Peterson. So 1 away. So this is why they might be talking to these pitchers and giving warnings. This was in the 3rd inning.
That was good aggressive baseball play. Base hit to right field. Nomar Mazara makes a pretty good throw, but it's up the line a little bit. And what it did was it caused Robinson Chirinos to block the plate. So Matt Kemp did not have a clear path. And when he doesn't have a clear path, he's allowed to make contact with the catcher. But Robinson Chirinos took exception to that, and understandably so. And just some tempers flaring, guys being guys in that situation. And both Robinson Chirinos and Matt Kemp got the rest of the night off.
Kike Hernandez, who is 1 for 3 tonight, takes outside 1-1. Bottom of the 8th, tied at 2.
I'll be curious to hear what Robinson has to say after the fact and after seeing the play. I mean, he obviously knows the rules, and curious if he felt like it was dirty or just, kind of a reaction to a really intense play, which for me, again, is justified. I know we don't want to see players fight and everything else, but those kind of things happen sometimes, and the rules have changed, and so I do think there's an expectation that we're not going to see contact. That was well within the rules.
One ball, 2 strikes, and Hernandez swings and misses at a ball in the dirt. Perez will throw him out at first. After the drop, 3rd strike. 2 away.
Another good slider here from Jake Diekman, and I mentioned that the last one was strikeout number 15 on this pitch. Well, here's number 16 on the slider. He actually has more strikeouts now on this pitch than he does his fastball. He's got 15 strikeouts on the fastball this year, now 16 on the slider. When you're trying to protect against 96, 97 miles an hour, and then Jake throws you that back foot down and in slider to a righty, is a deadly combination.
First pitch right in there for a strike. Cody Bellinger, a couple of walks and a double tonight. 2 away, 8th inning. 0-2 the count. So Diekman looking very sharp here in the 8th. Hamels went 6th. Leclerc scoreless 7th.
So you got an option here, right? Maybe elevate the fastball up and in, or go back to that slider down and away. We've seen Jake use that pitch so well tonight. There it is. And, you know, he's got the good fastball. I mentioned the velocity. You've seen it tonight. But interesting to look at the batting averages, and the batting averages do not tell you the entire story. But coming into this one, 118 against the slider, but 291 against the fastball.
1-2 pitch just off the plate again.
A little bit of an overthrow there from Jake, trying to go up top of the zone, end up yanking that one, pulling it down and away from Bellinger.
Well, Leclerc struck out the side of the 7th. Diekman trying to match him. The 2-2. Got him swinging. And he does strike out the side.
Well, that was absolute filth from Jake Diekman here in the bottom of the 8th inning. 3 strikeouts, and he ultimately ends up finishing off Cody Bellinger with 95 miles an hour at the top of the zone.
2-2, 9th inning. This has been a fun one. Hey, keep your favorite beverage steaming hot or icy cold with the first ever Rangers tumbler, courtesy of Academy Sports and Outdoors. First 15,000 fans to the game on Monday, June 25th, will get to take home this useful item. Be there at the Padres and Rangers. You can get your tickets at TexasRangers.com or by calling 972-RANGERS. All right. 9th inning, and Kenley Jansen has come on for LA.
It's been a good year for Kenley Jansen. A little bit of a slow start, and you see the home runs. A lot of those came early, but since then he's been good. 2.73 ERA, 7 walks on the year to his 31 strikeouts. And I mentioned those struggles early on. Check out what he has done since April 21st, and that is the Kenley Jansen that Dodger fans know so well. 13 for 13 in save opportunities, an absurdly low 1.17 ERA since April 21st.
Well, pretty fancy numbers for Kenley Jansen. And he faces Rougned Odor. Start things off here in the 9th inning, and Rugi takes one right down the middle for a strike.
For Jansen, what you will see is that cutter. He's got that good kind of natural cutter, not one where guys try to almost throw a small slider. He has been kind of given the gift, the same gift that Mariano Rivera had, where it's very easy for them to throw that natural cutter at high velocity.
A bunt, back to the mound, and Jansen shovels it cleanly over to first, 1 away. Now Ronald Guzman will pinch hit here.
Pinch hitter number 67.
Get to that point of the ball game now. You start looking at your benches and what you have left, and well, Rangers still have 2 other hitters available, Kiner Falefa and Carlos Tocci. A good spot here for Guzman, and he takes a strike from Jansen. 1 out, nobody on in the 9th. And this one off the hands. 0-2. Yeah, see, Guzman. Hard to hit it off your thumbs.
And that's one of the things about when you have a right-handed pitcher that is cutter heavy. Tony Barnett is certainly one of those guys that you would assume, well, do you put lefties in there? Not all the time, because especially if you look against a guy like Mariano Rivera, lefties had a harder time trying to get to that cutter.
And they want it up, and this one flared down to first. Bellinger right there for it. 2 away.
Well, this is why, and you're going to watch a cutter here just get all over Ronald Guzman's bat. It's just late break at high velocity. See how far that got on. You remember Damian Easley? The Rangers actually just drafted his son Jason, the 5th round, easily used to say that Mariano Rivera's cutter was like termites on your bat. That's essentially what Kenley Jansen just did to Ronald Guzman's bat.
Well, now Chu. And it's interesting. Looked like Barnes wanted that up, maybe even a smidge in. Instead, it was down and a little bit outside, but it was in the strike zone. 0-1 on Chu, who was walked twice, also doubled. 0-2 the count. Jansen was such a huge part of the Dodgers' success last year out of that bullpen. He had 51 strikeouts last season before he walked his first hitter, which was a new major league record. And that just sort of set him off sailing beautifully. This year, of course, he was a big part of the reason why they struggled early. They were 10 games under 500 in mid-May. And it was not a good start for Kenley Jansen. He seems to have righted himself. 0-2. That's way off the plate.
9th year for him in a Dodger uniform. Broke on the scene 2010, pitching 25 games and had a 0.67 ERA. And then 2 years later, he became the closer here and has been on a pretty good roll since 2012.
2 out, nobody on. Pitch on the way to Chu. Not very high. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Big shift on against Chu. Jansen again leaves it high.
He started his career as a catcher, right?
Yes, he did, yeah.
Which is pretty unbelievable. Not that he became the pitcher that he is, but because of how big he is. When you look at that body at 6'5", 275, and you think starting off your professional career, they said, yeah, catcher. It's amazing.
Well, I wonder, when they signed him, of course, he was probably nowhere near the size, but you have to figure he probably had pretty good height and whatnot. That's one of those things you see a lot, though. Guys who were drafted, signed as catchers, whatever, and then just their bodies got to be way too big. He's a good example. 3-2 pitch. That's high. Ball 4, and a 2-out walk in the 9th inning. Chu is on for a 4th time tonight.
Number 3, Delino DeShields.
Remarkable. And now here comes Delino DeShields. Dale Murphy started his career as a catcher.
Really? Now, in fairness, you're right. He was 17 years old when he first played professional baseball back in 2005. And a great athlete. As you heard Steve Woodward, their third base coach today, talking about how good of a infielder he is. He said he takes ground balls and he says nobody works harder. Excuse me, Chris Woodward say nobody works harder and looks better and has better hands and footwork than Kenley Jansen. Really? That's some good infielders on this team. Now, 6'5". Maybe it's just a good idea to say nice things about Kenley Jansen whenever you get the opportunity. 6'5", 275.
That's a big man. You're the best at everything. I remember when Bryce Harper was starting to get all that attention too as a youngster, and years before he would become the first pick of the draft. You're hearing all about how this guy is going to be a phenom, change the game, etc. He was a catcher.
That's right. We had that picture of him, right? Of him and Joey Gallo when they were kids, and Harper had the catcher's gear on.
Yeah.
And he was, I think he was actually bigger than Joey at the time. They were real little. They were like 9 or 10 years old.
Well, no balls, 2 strikes on to Shields. Joey's bigger now.
Joey won.
Here comes the 0-2. to Shields. Broken bat liner right to second base. Forsythe tucks it away. The inning is done. So, bottom of the ninth inning coming. Tied at 2. Here, ninth inning. Tied at 2. And Jesse Chavez on for the Rangers.
It'll be Jesse's turn right now to try to keep the Dodgers down. You see what he's done this year as far as the pitch arsenal. That fastball averaging 92. The slider, the changeup, and the curveball. It's been a good year for Jesse, who's done a very nice job for Jeff Bannister. Usually in that longer role, taking on multiple innings. And there may be that opportunity if the Rangers can continue this game and get it into extra innings.
He misses with his first 2 to Puig. Puig walked earlier tonight. He is 0 for 2. And takes a strike. Well, that one came back beautifully. Puig knew it.
Good movement on that 2-seam fastball from Jesse, who spent a year with the Dodgers back in 2016. Split that season between the Blue Jays and the Dodgers here in LA.
Chavez had a bit of a hot hand out of that bullpen lately. Hits the corner, and it's a full count on Puig. Three-2. Ooh, just missed. And so the lead man on here in the bottom of the ninth. Brings up Logan Forsythe.
So this will be interesting to see if the Dodgers want to use the bunt. Of course, we know pretty heavy analytical organization, and odds tell you that you're better off not bunting as far as scoring runs, but thinking about situations. You see the 0 for 3 night for Forsythe, and so if they're going to forego.
Bouncer right side, and that one is through. Puig hustling over to third base. Here comes the throw, and it is not in time. Forsythe with a single to right. Puig gets all the way to third, and he's not moving. He's holding on for dear life down there at third base.
It's a nice job by Forsythe just to hit a slow ground ball to the right side. Rougned Odor was played closer to the bag, and a 92-mile-an-hour sinker got the ground ball that Jesse Chavez wanted, but Forsythe does a nice job of handling the bat and just hitting it where no Ranger was on defense. That throw would have had to be perfect on line to have a chance at getting Puig.
Bear hug. Austin Barnes. Infield is in. You have to cut down Puig.
Yeah,
Tied at 2, bottom of the ninth.
A couple different ways to go, right? You think about, should you walk? Barnes here is 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts. So you think, you go after a guy who's struggling. You have to find a way to get 3 outs this inning. And of course, the other way is we'll be looking at a pinch hitter next with Grandal on deck and then setting up that force at home.
Bouncer, second base. Odor looks running back to first.
That is a
tags him out and gets the double play.
That is a fantastic job by Rougned Odor. Such a smart play in that situation, not to panic and throw that ball to first base. Tremendous defense. And Emily was talking about how Rugi is making sure he's focusing on doing everything else right. Perfectly executed right here. It's a bad job by Logan Forsythe. He has got to run in that spot and not allow Rougned Odor to do exactly that. And such a smart play. Some guys will panic and throw that ball to first base and thinking that's the way you want to get that one out. That was a great job by Odor.
God, that is an enormous play. Now with 2 outs, Brocale out there to talk a little strategy here. Number one, as you point out, great execution on the part of Odor. On the other side of that, of course, the Dodgers, where Austin Barnes has to be saying to himself like, wow, I really couldn't have done worse than that. I mean,
yeah,
he could have hit it just about anywhere on the infield, but right there.
Because the Rangers are not going to turn 2 because the infield is in. It's probably the only way you were going to get a double play on that.
So Grandal, the pinch hit here. And he watches one low.
So that, for me, is a strategy meeting that Doug Brocail has, because you either go after Grandal or you just go ahead and intentionally walk.
There's a strike, 1-1.
Taylor on deck, of course, good hitter. Swinging the bat better as of late.
Oh, good. It's a strike, 1-2. Saw the numbers earlier. 0 for 6. Grandal against Chavez in his career. The 1-2 pitch inside. Wow, a chance to get this thing to extra innings right here. After a leadoff walk and then a base hit by Forsythe, put Puig at third with nobody out, but a huge double play by Odor. The 2-2. Swung on, high fly, center field. DeShields is back at the track to the wall. Made the catch! And that just missed getting out, and this one is going to the 10th.
Delino DeShields does it again, and he could not have done it in a bigger spot. He has been playing some tremendous defense, and he doesn't look at the wall. He knows where it is based on the warning track and times that lead perfectly. And look at Jesse. Big stand-up ovation, standing ovation for Delino.
Here, how about this last play?
Delino DeShields coming up big. Look at Yasiel Puig at the bottom of your screen. Double hands up. He assumed it was gone, but Delino DeShields had other plans and makes another tremendous catch. Perfect timing by Delino, and Jesse Chavez excited about that one. I thought it had a chance off the bat. We know, of course, the ball doesn't carry well here at night, nearly as well as it does during the day. But big defensive plays all the way around for the Rangers in that bottom of the 9th inning.
So now they will see a familiar face in Eric Goodell, who was with the club at spring training this year. Goodell making his 16th appearance of the year. Shift is on against Nomar Mazara, and he swings out of his shoes at strike 1.
Yeah, interesting to see the year that Goodell is having, as you mentioned. That low ERA, the best among relievers. Probably not surprising when it's that low, under 0.5.
One strike pitch, and that one a little tall. 1-1 the count. Goodell, when he parted ways with the Rangers, he ended up with Seattle, and we saw him when he was with the Mariners. And now here he is with the Dodgers. We can't seem to get away from Eric. Ground ball, right side of the infield, and that one played cleanly by Forsythe. The entire Mazara one away in the 10th inning. That brings up Beltre. So Goodell, he's the 5th reliever used tonight by the Dodgers. They have exhausted their bench, so they have no more potential pinch hitters unless they want to use a pitcher. Beltre takes a strike from Goodell. Another good night at the plate for Adrian. 2 hits and a walk.
He's made some good defensive plays as well. He did have the one error against him, the throw from Chirinos that he missed and went into the outfield at third base on a potential steal that led to a run. But he also made another tremendous play on a slow roller, barehanded play, and swung the bat well tonight also.
This ball hit out to the gap, right center field, drops in, and a 3rd hit tonight for Adrian Beltre. Potential go-ahead run is on base in the 10th.
I mean, it seems like every batted ball by Adrian Beltre that's down for a hit goes into that right center field gap. I'm surprised that the Dodgers just don't put somebody there. It's pretty unbelievable to see as Adrian does it once again. That patented number 29 swing. It's incredible, the consistency of that.
So now he's out there for Jurickson Profar. And upstairs on Profar, ball one. Had that RBI single in the 4th inning. A wild 4th inning, which the Rangers scored a couple of runs. And that was right on the heels of the big play in the last of the 3rd inning that saw the ejection of Matt Kemp of the Dodgers and Robinson Chirinos of the Rangers. 1-1 now on Profar. Had over 41,000 here tonight, 41,303, the paid attendance figure.
Dodgers once again leading all of Major League Baseball, averaging 45,000 per game so far this season. Really, I mean, brave folks. 65 degrees here.
Yeah, well, you're right.
Very bold to be out here.
76 a game time, and it is. Temperatures continue to drop, but these hardy fans hold on. Look at him. Guy had to put on a sweatshirt for crying out loud. 2-1 in the dirt. And it was a weird delayed call there by Sean Barber. And he said, no, I got it. You did swing 2-2.
Yeah, once the home plate umpire makes the call, as you see the side swing here, and it's safe to say that Profar offered at that pitch. But there is no appealing after the home plate umpire makes that decision.
No appealing, only begging. Doesn't really work too often. 2-2 pitch in the dirt. So full count. So Eric Goodell joins the ranks of Kenley Jansen, Josh Fields, Scott Alexander, Edward Paredes, all in relief tonight of Kenta Maeda, who came off the disabled list for tonight's start. Dodgers rotation has been absolutely ravaged by injury, so it was a huge lift just to get Maeda back. Well, the bullpen has been worked tonight in the 3-2. Off the handle, over third, down the line, and that one is a base hit. Beltre stops at second. 2 hits in this 10th inning. And so the Rangers had that go-ahead run in scoring position.
Good job here by Jurickson Profar. We have seen this from him twice tonight, where he does a good job staying inside. Getting that ball to right field, and to left field, keeping the hands in. Good job at a big spot by Jurickson Profar. I was kind of wondering about this, if we were going to see this or not. But they waited until Adrian Beltre got to second base before they put Isaiah Kiner-Falefa in as a pinch runner, as he represents the go-ahead run.
And of course can slot right in at third base, so that works out well. He has a chance to score the winning run here. Gallo at the plate, 1 out. Going for it all. Gallo has faced Eric Goodell twice. Once he walked, and the other time had a hit. One and one. Late Wednesday evening here in Los Angeles. 10th inning. Rangers threatening. And Gallo takes a strike. It's 1-2.
Goodell trying to go up at the top of the strike zone, missed the spot pretty badly, but it caught the very bottom of the strike zone.
Well, Joey susceptible to the strikeout. He's punched out twice today. He's looking kind of Falefa out there at second. Profar, the runner at first. Joey, though, nearly impossible to double up. He has not been doubled up this year. And he swings and misses. So he strikes out for the second out of the 10th.
Take a look at this pitch from Eric Goodell to finish off Joey Gallo. 93-mile-an-hour fastball at the very top of the zone. That's where he was trying to throw the third pitch of the at-bat. It's not overpowering, but well located and gets above the bat of Joey Gallo.
So it's in the hands now of Carlos Perez. Goodell, never too careful, looks back at Kiner Falefa. Rangers 2 runs came in the 4th inning. Got a total of 8 hits in the game. This one down the right side, out of play. Dodgers got the first run of the game in the 1st inning, the Justin Turner homer, and then scored a run in the 2nd, an unearned run in the 2nd inning. They jumped out 2-0. But Hamels tightened it up at that point, went 6 innings tonight. Leclerc, Diekman, and Jesse Chavez have locked it down from there. Oh, 0-2 on Perez. In the bottom of the 10th, the Dodgers have the top of the order coming to the plate. And time called. Pitching it out way inside. 1-2 the count.
You mentioned effective 0-2 pitches and pitches with a purpose. That was a good one there. The off-speed pitch that moved the feet of Carlos Perez. And you've seen him now use the fastball at the top of the zone to elevate. He's got an opportunity here. Could be breaking balls. Perez tries to find a way to battle in this 2-strike count, put a ball in play, try to get Isaiah Kiner Falefa home.
Pop foul, and that one will end up in the stands.
Talk about effective velocity. Again, it's not overpowering, but it's where it's located. And after throwing the off speed, that 93 looks a lot harder than what the radar gun tells you.
Set, check of the runners. The 1-2. And Perez fights him off again. And Carlos giving a pretty good at bat here. Goodell now at 22 pitches in the inning. You see Goodell, the spelling of his name, G-O-E, 2 D's, E-L. No relation to the famous baseball figure Eddie Goodell, who spelled his last name differently. Dwarf that St. Louis Browns owner Bill Veeck sent to the plate back in the 60s. There's a swing of that foul ball. Yeah. Dave Burchett points out a different uniform number as well.
Was he 1.5?
No, Goodell, it was like 1/8, I think.
Oh.
Let's see. That was a good one. Yeah, 1/8. That Goodell weighed 65 pounds. He was 3 feet 7 inches tall. Eddie. Small strike zone. 1-2. Well, that one below the zone evens the count. And Eric Goodell continues to labor here. Rangers have dropped 5 straight games, trying to put an end to that streak with a victory here, trying to split this series as well. 2-2. And a swing and a miss. So, good long at bat there by Perez, but the strikeout ends the threat in the 10th. So now, top of the order coming for the Dodgers at the bottom of the 10th inning. 2-ball game. He'll get the top of the order. Hey, Tiger Woods is back. Ready to take on the greatest golfers in the world at the 118th U.S. Open. Live coverage begins on Thursday from Shinnecock Hills on Fox, FS1, and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. So, top of the order due for the Dodgers. Chris Taylor, Justin Turner, and then Jock Peterson. And Dave Roberts is out of potential pinch hitters. He has drained his bench.
That's part of them having that deeper bullpen that they have here with the Los Angeles Dodgers. So short bench, and get into a situation like this, they were using pinch hitters pretty early. Now, of course, they could always throw a pitcher out there if they needed to, I guess, if something else happened late. Got to that point.
Kiner Falefa, who pinch ran for Adrian Beltre last inning, stays in the game. He's at third. That one off the plate. 1 ball, 1 strike to Chris Taylor.
Rangers have been good in extra innings this year. 6-1 on the year. The Dodgers just 2-3 in their 5 extra inning games.
Did he go? No. Taylor 1 for 4 tonight. Chavez gets him to swing and miss. That'll even things up here at 2-2. So Jesse, last inning, he got a huge double play from Rougned Odor. And that got him out of a jam after walking the leadoff man Yasiel Puig and giving up a single. And now in the dirt, he goes full to Chris Taylor. You do not want to try to repeat that kind of an inning. Walking Taylor here would certainly not be advised. 3-2 and a swing and a foul ball back out of play. Another payoff. And another foul ball. The setup in, and there's a swing and a miss. Strike 3. Taylor strikes out to start the 10th inning.
Good job by Jesse Chavez after a long at bat, getting this fastball by Chris Taylor. Good life on it. Velocity at 91. See Taylor just kind of tip it a little bit.
So Beltre out of the game, but during the break, I mean, he's not done. It's not like he went up to the clubhouse. He was like, okay, I'll warm him up.
Come on. That's got to be a little awkward for Jesse, right? You don't want to let anything go. You certainly don't want to throw anything in the dirt.
Little slow roller at third base. Kiner Falefa takes care of Justin Turner. 2 away.
The ultimate team player, Adrian Beltre, understanding what's happening here as far as what's left on the bench. Robinson Chirinos is not allowed to come back out and warm pitchers up in that spot.
Kiner Falefa could have, but he had to play third.
Yeah. The only other player what the Rangers have left is Carlos Tocci, I believe.
Yep. Last guy remaining on the bench. Still plenty of arms available in the Rangers bullpen. And for that matter, the Dodgers have enough depth to keep this going for a while. 2 out, nobody on base. Here's Jock Peterson.
Take a look at what is available. You mentioned in the Ranger bullpen. Still a handful of arms left in Kella and Martin, Alex Claudio, Matt Bush, Tony Barnett. So plenty of arms down there. Although Claudio threw 40 pitches yesterday and Tony Barnett 35, Matt Bush 22. It's one of those situations for Jeff Bannister. There's guys that you red light, there's guys that you yellow light. Yellow guys you'd like to stay away from if possible. Red light means you cannot use them pretty much under any circumstance. I would think the 40 pitches for Claudio, who's not even pitched in a while, probably would give him the night off, one of the last options.
Well, Peterson rolls out to win the 10th inning. So to the 11th we go. Still tied at 2. How about this? Yesterday, Haniger had a huge day for the Mariners. Hit 2 home runs. Made this throw from the corner in right field. Watch the tag by Segura here. Oh, behind the back, I gotcha.
That was tremendous.
Today, Haniger with the walk-off home run. Mariners, rain had just started pouring. They were in the middle of closing the roof. Haniger walks it off. Mariners sweep that series over the Angels. So a heartbreaker for the Angels. And the Mariners continue to lead the division. Had a half-game lead over Houston going into play today.
My favorite part of that, though, was Luis Valbuena. Hits that ball down the line, kind of tosses his bat, double hands in the air. Then as he's coming around first, he's like, oh, he has that uh-oh moment on his face where he realizes he is going to have to pick it up. And then ultimately gets thrown out. Tremendous tag, though, you're right, by Gene Segura.
All right, Jeff Bannister talking with plate umpire Sean Barber here.
Uh-oh.
And not real sure. There was a, oh, I see this. I was going to say there's a gesture of the phone, which you normally figure to be the bullpen phone. It's the replay phone. Barber informing Jeff Bannister that the replay phone is down in the Dodgers dugout. And now Barber out there to talk to Liberatore. So he goes out to talk to every pitcher.
More talking than usual for an home plate umpire tonight, without
How many
a doubt.
mound visits does he have left for
He's,
crying out loud?
without a doubt, exhausted them all and then some. Game number 15 for Liberatore. See what he's done so far. 10 strikeouts to 4 walks. And one of the 3 lefties that is down in that bullpen for Dave Roberts. And he's been very good against lefties. 154 batting average against. Righties have hit 240 against Liberatore.
All right, so he goes after Rougned Odor here. With ball 1, Odor has walked and singled. '11th inning. Tied at 2. Final game in a very quick 2-game series here in LA. A little number down the third baseline goes foul. Of course, this is a weird one, right? We came out here Sunday after the ball game at home. Spent all day Monday. Celebrating an off day, if you will. Played last night, now tonight. We'll have been here for 2 weeks to play 2 games, by my math.
Pretty incredible. I mean, the Rangers obviously love Southern California. They don't want to leave. Get here early, stay late.
I mean, it's already Thursday back home. We left on Sunday to play 2 games.
Yeah, we'll get back late
college
Thursday
baseball?
night, probably.
The NBA. 1 and 2 the count. Well, Odor, really pretty striking to look down and see the numbers and notice that he has 1 home run here on June 13th. He's trying to make some adjustments, obviously, to his game. Now, he missed a month with the injury to the hamstring, but the power numbers, there's just no doubting it. They're down appreciably. He's walked a little more. His bunts are up a lot higher. Takes in the dirt, and it's a full count.
Yeah, Rugi continues to work at the plate discipline. We know that, recognizing pitches a little bit better, trying to be a little bit more patient. It's tough. I mean, he is ultra aggressive as a player, and there's that in between of trying to find when do you try to back off, dial it back a little bit, but at the same time without giving up too much of what you do well, which is power. Guys can get caught in the middle at times if you're trying to improve that on base, but how many home runs do you want to give up in the process? There's a lot of back and forth there. It's quite the process.
Foul ball, and we'll do it again. Well, this will be the 7th pitch of the at-bat against Liberatore. And Odor will see yet another one. Well, Odor, a key figure in getting this game into extra innings, not for what he has done at the plate, but for what he has done with a glove. In fact, the Rangers, despite a couple of errors today, not their best game that way, but a terrific effort in the 9th inning to force extras on 2 outstanding defensive plays. And Odor's the first of those who really made the second one possible or necessary. Without his double play, the Shields play might not have been that big a deal. So here it was, 1st and 3rd. Nobody out in the 9th inning.
Kind of a dire situation. The ground ball to the right side, and an excellent job by Rugi. Good awareness to run Forsythe back to first. Don't throw that ball. Go ahead and tag him, then step out of the bag. And then we saw Delano DeShields come up big on this deep fly ball, and I thought there was a chance that he was going to get out. Yasiel Puig thought it was out for sure. He was standing on third base, and both arms went in the air. And Jesse Chavez is going to bat.
Yeah, Adam Liberatore walked Rugi, so the potential go-ahead run is on here to start the 11th inning. And Chavez tasked with trying to move him up.
No doubt the Rangers pitchers hitting when they were at home, preparing for these moments right here. For Jesse Chavez, he'd love to find a way to get Odor to second base.
Wants it foul, the count 0-2. Now do you bunt him again?
I do.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Keep trying to make it happen. Interesting, Jesse was wearing those glasses when he was pitching but not hitting. So I don't know. I had a chance to ask him about those. He just started wearing them not that long ago. I don't know if they're non-prescription. I assume they are, since he's not wearing them as he's getting ready to hit.
Looks like he's showing bunt here, the 0-2. And he fouls that one off as well. So that is a strikeout. The only way in which one can strike out on a foul ball is when you bunt with 2 strikes, but 1 away here in the 11th inning. So here's Chu. All he has done tonight is walk 3 times and hit a double. It's also flied out to center field.
So that was the 17th at bat for Jesse Chavez in his career. And guess how many strikeouts?
17 at bats.
Yeah.
A lot, I'm guessing, right?
No,
13?
Yeah. 16.
Oh dear.
But he has a hit. So he came into this game 1 for 16 in his career with 15 punchies.
Wow. Chu homered yesterday. And he takes on the corner here for strike 1. Liberatore with that big exhale. Never faced Chu before. And he throws over there to first base to keep Odor a little bit closer.
Liberatore really pushing the limits of that 45-degree rule. Sometimes the first throw over won't be aggressive, but as a left-handed pitcher, you have 45 degrees as far as where that front foot can land when you throw over. It's a judgment call for the umpire. He really pushed the limits there.
in dirt, 1-1. He's the last lefty that Dave Roberts had available. He'd already used Paredes and Scott Alexander, so Liberatore is done. All that Roberts has, 3 right-handers remaining in his bullpen, as the Rangers have a lefty and 4 righties still available in this one. Door draws a little more interest. Rangers have out hit the Dodgers 8-6 tonight. A lot of base runners. 1-2 to count on Chu.
Looks like Chu's having a little bit of a tough time picking up that fastball. We talked about how good he is against high velocities. This is only 90 to 91. He's taking a couple of uncomfortable swings against the Liberatore fastball.
Everybody sets again, and Odor continues to draw throws. Now, Rugi has attempted 6 stolen bases this year, but he's been thrown out 5 times. One, 2 inside. Chu yesterday was 3 for 5 with a home run and an RBI, scored a couple. Reached base safely in 28 straight games. Ground ball, second base. Forsythe to second for one, of the relay to first in time, and the double play ends any hopes that the Rangers had in the 11th. So we go to the bottom of the 11th inning, still tied at 2. Inning on the way, and attention Aggie fans, Fox Sports Southwest inviting you to show your school spirit at a Texas Rangers game. You can get discounted tickets for the Friday, June 15th game against the Rockies. You get a free Rangers cap and Aggie maroon and white colors for the first 3,250 fans with an event ticket. Go to TexasRangers.com/TAMU for details. Well, bottom of the 11th inning, Chavez out there for a 3rd inning of work. Kike Hernandez will lead things off for the Dodgers, and Cody Bellinger and Yasiel Puig. Does Skunk get loose here on the stands?
I was just going to ask you the same thing. I was going to ask you, and I was like, well, you never know. They've had a couple of Dodger dogs again. Maybe I should lay off.
That's not a human smell.
No. There's a skunk here somewhere, not too far away from the booth, which is slightly concerning.
You want to check your duffel bag?
We're about 4 stories up here, right? About 40 feet in the air. Did you see that crazy raccoon in Minnesota? I think it was Minnesota. Scaled a wall, like way up there, like 10, 12 stories, something ridiculous.
I think I'd probably take that over whatever we've got going.
Yeah.
3-1. That was down low, and Hernandez walks to lead off the 11th. I'm looking around the booth.
Yeah, you nervous?
Hey, come on, somebody come clean here. What's going on? Again.
No, that is undeniable. That is the stench of a skunk that may no longer be living.
So Cody Bellinger, 1 for 2, a couple of walks, man on though for the Dodgers. Wouldn't that be something if the fans here got stuck with a rally skunk? Like if things,
nobody wants that.
Things somehow worked out for the Dodgers in the bottom of the 11th, and that's what they rode all the way to the finish line.
So how far do you think Emily is from us right now? She's a couple hundred feet. Another 40 feet in the air. She too can smell the skunk.
Yeah, it's prevalent down here as well. I don't know if it's I wouldn't call it overpowering, but it's definitely noticeable.
Is there some kind of skunk invasion coming our way?
What's happening?
High fly ball left field, and that one's not going to carry deep enough. Chu able to get there. And one away. Tagging and moving to second on the play. And that was a close one. Hernandez gets in under the tag.
It's good heads-up play by Hernandez. This was a really high fly ball that Chu had to go a long way to get. So as he was getting there, it was a little bit more about just making sure you make the play as opposed to getting behind the ball and trying to make a perfect throw. And Hernandez, I think, sensed an opportunity, and that was a pretty ugly slide, but he got there nonetheless. He's now in scoring position after now Puig intentionally walked. Jeff Bannister on his way out.
Well, first and second, one out with Forsythe coming up, and looks like Matt Bush is going to be coming in. Yep, there you go. There's the signal. So Chavez done. Not happy about it. I think he feels like he had more to give. But Bush coming on for the Rangers in the 11th. Bullpen for the Rangers here in the 11th inning. He inherits 2 base runners in this one-out situation. Another Southern California. The game started with the San Diegan and Cole Hamels, and now Matt Bush, also a San Diego native.
Another conversation with home plate umpire. Matt Bush comes in. You see what he's done this year. Good fastball, 96 miles an hour. Curveball cutter as well for Matt Bush, and he inherits a couple of runners, but none more important than the one on second base. That is the potential winning run. Matt Bush this year has inherited 10 runners. 3 of them have scored.
So first pitch. Forsythe is 1 for 4. Takes the ball. He didn't have a great angle on that one, but I think Sean Barber, plate umpire, when he went out there to Bush, whispered, "It wasn't me." I don't know what he's talking about, but
oh boy.
Look back at second base. Bush on high alert, and so now is Kike Hernandez. Just a little low, 2-0. Well, we saw a walk. The leadoff man in the 9th inning. That was Puig. And then a base hit in the very next at bat. But the Dodgers couldn't get anything out of it. Now here in the 11th inning, they get a leadoff walk, this time by Hernandez. And 1 out later, Puig intentionally walked. And it's all laid at the feet here of Matt Bush to get the Rangers out of this mess.
Bush more of a fly ball strikeout type of pitcher. Has not gotten a ground ball this year, but this would be, I should say, a ground ball double play this year. This would certainly be an ideal time to get his first.
There's Hernandez. Has that winning run with him in his back pocket, and another throwback there. Fans getting a little restless, but
that's a smart idea. Obviously, it's a really important run. The idea of getting an aggressive secondary lead is something Matt Bush does not want to allow Hernandez to do.
Long set in the 2-2. Fly ball right side, foul and out of play. Well, the Dodgers only got 1 hit off Jesse Chavez in his 2 1/3 innings. They did manage 3 walks. Rangers have walked 8 batters in this one tonight. To this point, they have managed to limit the damage that those guys have done. Oh, much better move that time, and closer still to getting Kike Hernandez. It's a full count. Austin Barnes would be next. And that's ball 4, so they are loaded up.
That's number 15, Austin Barnes.
Well, we talk a lot about save situations, closers used in save spots, non-save spots. And Bush had a chance last year in that closer's role. It did not work out. Now, this every bit is high leverage as a save situation. It's a big swing and a miss by Barnes. Does it feel the same to a guy? A spot like this, in terms of adrenaline, intensity, as would a save spot?
I think it should. I mean, tie games, you know, obviously there's no opportunity to get that save, but it's a huge moment, game on the line. And the guys that close regularly, and they love those save spots. They love the idea of getting the out that is going to end the game, or something that they just feed off of in those spots. But this is still a huge one. Now it's still a bit of a different feel for Matt Bush coming in the middle of an inning.
2 balls and a strike on Barnes. Well, there's nowhere to put him. If he loses him on balls, the game is over. 3 walks in the inning. There you see it. Hernandez, Puig, and Forsythe, the base runners. Austin Barnes, 0 for 4 tonight. 3 strikeouts and a double play. And he bounces this one back to the mound. Bush has it to the plate for 1. And the run scores. Perez had come off home plate to catch the ball and could not get the tag on Kike Hernandez. And the Dodgers score the winning run.
Jeff Bannister has already come out of the dugout and asked for the umpires to look at this play. And I'm sure he's wondering whether or not Perez was able to keep his foot on home plate or whether there was a tag. Take a look at the replay here, and just going to see this little tapper hit back to Matt Bush as he turns, spins, and throws. And certainly does appear that Hernandez might have got in there. Watch the foot first. Did it stay on the bag, or I should say stay on the plate? It did not. So they're clear there. Now, did Perez get any kind of tag in here before Hernandez touched the plate? And I don't think we're going to see that either. No, this call is going to stand.
And indeed, the signal already on the umpires, and this one will stand up. So the Dodgers win it by a 3-2 final score tonight in 11 innings. Boy, that's another really tough and borderline bizarre loss for the Rangers tonight. Well, John Radigan, Mark McLemore, and David Murphy will try to make sense of it all for you back in the studios. For CJ Nitkowski, Emily Jones, the Skunk, and our entire crew, I'm Dave Raymond, inviting you to stay with us. More coverage of tonight's ball game coming up right after this.